Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're back. Me, the Indoor Adventurer, on, you guessed it, the Indoor Adventurer chat. Last week, I was still gone, so we all got to enjoy the Cyberwolf 1201 shot. That was the alternate future where you guys decided to play as them kids from the Four Keeps, which was super cute. I loved it. If you haven't seen it, please go back and watch it. It's very great. It also included our dear friend JD Lady. But we have been gone from this campaign for 2 weeks, and that has killed me deep on the inside, especially because we are going to be gone for yet another 2 weeks after this session because motherfucking holidays. Who needs that? Bah humbug. I want to roll some d20s with my friends. But we are going to be having some Christmas crossovers in the meantime, where the Monday night crew and the Tuesday night crew get together, and maybe they'll hold hands and sing carols, or maybe they'll go on a really baller Christmas themed adventure designed by Myaz truly. So, with all that aside, don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to this channel for free using Twitch Prime, which is super cool. We also have a Patreon that I will post a link to, where you can get access to our Discord chat, which is super fun. And I greatly enjoy having all sorts of friends within the chat. Also, as a point of order, over the last week, we also raised an additional $150 on Extra Life. So we have finally put ourselves over the $1,000 range that we had set for Extra Life this year. So while we can't have games for 2 weeks, happy holidays, motherfuckers. We helped raise money for the kids this year. So that is it for all of the side order biznaz. Let's get back into where we were in the game. You guys had just gotten done exiting out of Silt Creek, heading into a set of woods not 2 hours away from town, where you had oh, thank you, JD, where you had met a friend, JD Hammerfell, a local blacksmith who you then managed to give an owlbear to. A pet baby owlbear that you guys were planning on keeping for yourself, but you also had Cybra to deal with at the time, so really wasn't in the cards for you guys to keep two pets at the same time. But you managed to set off towards the very scary woods that housed a cave fisher nest, and once you actually got to this cave fisher nest, you dealt with those big bad bugs very handedly. Cori had switched to her summer form to increase the amount of fire damage output that she was able to deal, and you guys exploded a king, queen, you weren't really sure, but it was a very big buggo. And we ended last session with Gwen chasing off after Summer Cori, saying, I'm gonna wrestle her, or I'm gonna see if she wants to wrestle, and then you just bolted off, leaving you guys in the middle of this wood. What would you like to do?
Oh my god, it's been so long. Can I tackle Cori?
We can try.
We need to get back to the horse.
Can I? Oh, I can't hear anyone. Oh no.
Quick talk shit.
All right, so Blake, you were suggesting going back to the horses?
Yes, we have a horse that is waiting patiently for our return and may or may not have been eaten by cave fishers.
Oh, I could send Moonin ahead to see if the horse is okay.
No, we left. Sorry, I'm gonna address this in character.
Take your time.
It takes us 2 weeks to get into character, guys.
Don't you remember? I told the horse to stay where it was. Unless there was a cave fisher coming around to eat it, then it gets to leave. So if a cave fisher came around to eat it, then it would have left. So it should still be where it is.
Unless it left. So I would very much like to go back to our horse so that we can continue and try to go to Marrisville.
Alrighty. So you guys, are you letting Cybra back down to kind of run alongside the forest floor, or are you just kind of keeping her in the papoose that you guys have set up?
It's up to Blake, actually. You're the one training her.
I do not have the papoose.
I have the papoose.
Yes.
I'm just gonna take a knee and, like, empty her onto the floor.
She just kind of happily hops along the ground. Having gotten a little bit of whiplash from you getting whipped around by a cave fisher not an hour ago, she kind of walks a little funny, but then straightens herself out enough to continue going. And she just happily continues along the trail. And you kind of just point ahead to where you would like her to go. So I would like for whoever's leading you guys out of the forest to make a survival check with advantage. As Cybra, your wolf pup, is doing her dangdest to help you guys out.
I have 2 survival.
Okay.
So do I.
Let's not get into any encounters, because I'm kind of tapped.
So I'll go ahead and take this one.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you give us again?
11.
Oh, it's doing it again.
All right, and that was with advantage?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you eventually work your way around, and you don't remember the forest being nearly this big. And then you end up coming into a clearing, and it's actually the clearing that you had fought the original cave fishers in. But you remember that the initial trip to get there only took you about 45 minutes from where you were previously, but it took you about an hour and a half to actually get there this time. As you just seem to sort of been you were following this dog like you were previously, hoping Cybra would lead you back to the place where you had came from. But instead, she was just kind of doing the puppy thing of just kind of sniffing around and following her path.
We'll get there at some point. Do we have a horse?
Your horse was tied up on the outside of the wood. So you guys are still in the woods currently, and it'll take you a little bit of time to actually make your way out. So you can roll another set of survival checks with advantage if you would like.
14.
All right. So 14, no problem, because you've come this far into the woods several times now, so it's really not that big of an issue for you. And you guys all end up being able to exit the forest, and when you do, you see that your cart has kind of been pulled off to the side, and old Bess is just laying on the ground, nibbling some grass off to the side, seemingly to have moved very, very little from where you guys had told her to stay.
That's a good horse.
All right, so let's go. And I mean, do I normally drive the horse? Is that what's been happening?
So, if I remember correctly, you have been walking alongside the cart for the most part, and it was actually Gwen who has been using her animal handling skills to help pilot this cart. This land vehicle.
Landmaster.
Personally, I prefer the air. Yeah, I guess we're going.
How are
Where are we
you?
going? I'm sorry. I conked out for the last 10 minutes. I don't actually know what we're doing.
So we have this horse, right?
It's a donkey, but yeah.
And we're going to Marrisville,
Oh yeah, perfect. That's where we need to go.
so we can find your axe.
Yeah. Cool. How far is it?
Few days.
3 days?
Cool. Cori, are you gonna stay in that form?
I don't know. What's it to you?
I want to fight you.
Don't actually, like, fight each other.
I mean, obviously it'd be like a not to the death.
Maybe
would
like
do that?
on the way. Whenever
Yeah.
you're all both
Can we take a
split up.
break? I need to, like...
Alrighty. So how are you guys steering the cart? Because there's no clear road that leads like directly through this wood or around it or anything like that by any means. So how would you guys like to do it? You could either try and move through the woods, which you think might be a shorter distance, but you know that it's pretty brush heavy throughout and it would be kind of difficult for you to get your cart through. Or you could try and maneuver your cart around one side of the wood or the other. And just kind of keep to the edges.
I mean, we might as well move around.
Yeah.
Yeah, shortcuts make for long delays. That's what I've heard.
So do inclement weather.
What's
Whatever you guys
Weather
want.
like.
All right. You guys want me to steer this bitch?
Yes, please.
All right, cool. All right, old Bess. Caelum, really? Like,
You gotta be. I'm clambering into the cart.
all right, I'm gonna like do a eye to eye with old Bess. I'm gonna try and like, shoot, what's that thing from Finding Dory? To sync with her.
Okay.
Uru!
Let's see if you two are drift compatible. We're gonna Jaeger this cart.
Would you like me to roll an animal handling?
Yes, please.
All right, let's do it. That's a 9.
9.
So you make this noise at Old Bess and you try and like you close your eyes and get this like sync feeling in your head like, okay, this is gonna be it. I have mastered the ability to control a horse with my mind. And as you do, you feel your hair kind of getting tugged down on one side. And the rest of you see old Bess is just kind of pulling it
No.
with her mouth.
No, it's gonna eat me! Get it off!
Coriander swoops in for the rescue. She's like, "Hi!" Like, kind of like slaps old Bess on the nose.
Okay, make an intimidation check.
Ah. I'm supposed to be good at this.
Ah!
Intimidation +3. How about a 12?
All right. So when you do that, she lets go and just like just kind of like flares her nostrils up at you and then just tilts her head forward and just begins slowly trudging forward. And she kind of seems to be giving off the attitude like she's moving because she wanted to, not because you guys told her to.
I'm gonna clamber onto the cart and pretend like I'm guiding her.
It's like we're still dealing with Parnell.
Wait. Fuck is that supposed to mean, Blake?
It's the horse?
Right, that's right. The horse.
Well, it used to belong to Parnell now, didn't it?
It's true. For those of
Evil
you
eye to the
just
horse.
joining.
Did we pack any booze?
We have some catnap.
You guys also still have 4 containers of moon wax left, as you had thrown the
Bitch.
better half of the large jug.
Yeah, but that shit
As
makes
well
you
as-
blind.
It can make you blind.
You know what else makes you blind? What I'm about to do.
Oh, but cast blindness? What?
No,
What?
I'm gonna
See
use my
through
action
familiar.
to see through my familiar.
Okay.
But I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
All right. And what are you having? Like, are you just exchanging eyesight with your familiar?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
see through their eyes just to see, like, you know, them flying.
Yeah.
Overhead view. Cinematic shot.
Yeah. It is just that aerial camera swoop.
Drone shot.
Yeah. And there's like a little bit of a lurching feeling in your stomach because you have it's like putting on VR goggles, like you're able to see your body moving from point A to point B, but you're not like sharing your senses back, so you're just maintaining still watching it from above.
Is there any like effect on Caelum's eyes? when he does this?
His eyes just turn a milky white, whereas normally they're black.
Nice.
But it's just his pupils. So in this large field of black, there are just these 2 solid white balls.
Not
No, you
weird.
had those.
What?
Nothing.
I'm gonna guide the cart until it's not my turn to guide the cart, and then I'm gonna take a swig of catnap.
Catnap?
No, not catnap. The other one.
Okay, Moonwax. All right, so with Moonwax, make a Constitution save.
This is a poison, correct?
Yes.
Sweet. Constitution is a 17.
All right. Yeah, so you take your swig and it's that feel good burn inside of your chest, and like you kind of feel your body warm up a little bit in the cool night air as you guys have been traveling for some time now. And you're definitely feeling better about it. And you know that you have probably about 2-3 hours more of daylight left before it's time to camp down.
Okay.
But yeah, your first swig of Moonwax goes by totally fine.
God, that's so good. Anyone else want some?
What are you drinking?
No, Caelum, no. Not you.
Wait, what? Why?
It made you blind.
Oh, yeah, fuck that.
Cori takes it without asking. Takes a swig.
Ooh.
Bitch.
Con save, yeah?
Yep.
11.
All right. So with an 11, you're feeling pretty buzzed off of this. It's definitely like this one swig. Like you've had your fair share of drinks before, and like you guys even got your blue ribbon bands to be able to enjoy the beer garden that was set up in Silt Creek when you guys had gotten there initially, and enjoyed your a night's revelry there. But like that entire night's revelry was just packed into that one swig that you just had. Like it's pretty potent stuff. Gwen is very skilled at holding her alcohol for such a small halfling, but it's totally fine. It just comes with practice. But you're definitely feeling tipsy.
A buzzed summer Cori is definitely a recipe for all things good.
Oh, definitely.
Who's driving the cart?
Oh shit.
I'll be up next.
Okay, so Blake, make an animal handling check.
15.
All right, so with your 15, you managed to just lead Old Bess the same way that you've been going. No additional problems. And you guys see that there are large rocks and stuff that kind of get in your way, and you're just able to steer her around, or you'll see that a tree's fallen over. And again, just very easily steer her around and over without any real problem. Seems pretty good. And
If you want to fight me,
Yeah.
it's either going to have to be tomorrow, or you can't use your raging ghost ancestor thing because I'm out. I'm fresh out today.
Fresh out of what?
Fresh out of magic,
Oh.
of Coralon's love and blessings.
I mean, we could wrestle.
That's fine with me.
For those of you not looking at the D&D Beyond stats, Cori is actually stronger than Gwen.
But is Gwen
Very
more
tall. I've got a lot of leverage.
Right.
Leverage. I'll get you.
Oh, they're even on dex.
Well, maybe when we make camp. How about that? Make camp, we'll wrestle, and then go to sleep.
Fair enough.
All right, cool. I'm going to go pop it next to Blake.
okay.
I take it everyone else is in the back.
Yeah, Caelum, what have you been up to during this long trip?
Popping in and out of a moon in sight. Probably reading a little bit.
Fair enough.
Chatting with whoever would talk to him.
You got a bird who's always willing to listen.
At some point, Blake does want to ask you about possibly researching some
Research,
basic
you say?
Yeah, researching. Like if you can research some basic alchemy stuff.
I'll have to see, like, if I have the right books on me, but I can always pop in to the library and double check. Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Nice. All right, so you're going to be researching some alchemical books. And then did you guys have anything else you wanted to do on your first day's cart ride? As it gets nearer to you guys being able to set up camp. And you see, like, you managed to actually find a road to travel on. It kind of picks up some way after the forest and just leads along a small river that seems to be going towards where you know the sea is in the direction of. And as you make your way along this long path, you end up just coming to a nice clearing within the brush that's off to the side. It seems to have been used to stable some carts not too long ago.
All right, this looks like a good spot. Should we like scout the area, make sure there's no like werebeasts or something out here?
I think we should all be aware of beasts.
Stop.
Caelum.
You can wear them too if you skin them right.
I am out of here, and I'm going to start walking around actually looking for werebeasts or undead or anything that's a creature of the night.
Yeah. So roll a survival check with advantage because Blood Hunter? Isn't that part of it, or is that just tracking them?
It's just tracking them.
Okay.
And recalling information on them, but specifically
I'll say that this
Fae,
counts.
Fiend, and undead.
I'll say that this counts for you just looking around, like if you're really trying to find something relating to it.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So you are you're looking around trying to find some sort of Fae kind of like Fae, Fiend, undead. You're not really getting any undead. The closest thing that you have to a fiend resides within yourself, and like you kind of sniff around, and really there's not much going on in terms of that kind of activity. And towards the edge of the small encampment, you see that there is just a small circle of mushrooms that's been growing, and that seems to be giving off a small trace of Fae energy.
Huh. Okay. Cool. Back away slowly.
Yep.
No, I'm not seeing anything. There's a fairy circle over there, but that's about it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is that so?
Yeah, it's right over there.
Go look at that.
Is it big enough for us to fight in?
Oh, you don't want to go into a fairy circle.
Oh, the fairy circle when you inspect it is only about the size of a small plate. It's not very big at all. You would probably have difficulty even setting one whole foot inside of this circle.
Interesting. I'm gonna poke one of the mushrooms with my sword, and I'll do divine sense, see if there's anything evil about it.
Yeah. So when you poke it with your sword, you just hear this as it rights itself after you've kind of prodded it with your sword, and you don't get any sense of evil from it. It just seems to be a small little fairy ring.
Well, if you see any fairies around here, then there you go. That's where it came from, innit?
I mean, there's 2 in our group, and who's counting?
Alright, I'm gonna go fight you.
Yes! Alright, Gwen, like, she takes off her outer jacket, and she takes off her furs, and she's just, like, stretching it out. Getting ready. Alright, what are the rules?
No magic.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that you can do because of what you are. Sure. Like, face step. Being small.
Okay. Just to be clear, what is not part of what I am? Besides my axe.
Well, I mean, you know, like, the axe is... well, do you want to use weapons?
I probably not, you know.
You hear Caelum just shout, "No weapons!
No!
No!"
Okay, healer says no weapons.
All right.
Like,
All right.
see, like the axe is what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I see.
A thing I do.
Caelum's
Right.
just flipping through his books. Just punch each other already!
All right. First one to the ground.
Sure.
All right, cool. Let's do this shit.
All right, roll for initiative.
Friggin'. Like, give us a go.
Oh, the last time I DM'd a party v party battle, it didn't go so well.
Ooh, boy.
Getting the flashbacks.
All right, Cori. All you don't ever say, "I'm going to exercise your best friend."
Who would that be, though? If you talked about killing the dog, I mean,
It would just be your spirit guardian. But
Cyber is with me.
yep, it's
Cyber
our
will not
science
be
boys off to
participating.
the side. Our
I
good-natured
got
science boys.
a 19.
Oh, well, I got an 8. So
Okay,
you're going
Gwen, you
first.
go first.
Okay.
Go.
All right. So just to be clear, she was saying don't rage, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
essentially.
All right. That
Like, you don't rage, and I don't cast spells or smite or channel divinity or whatever.
solid. Okay, I am going to try to grapple you. So I'm going to try and get her on her legs. Which is an athletic check. Right?
Versus Cori's athletics or acrobatics.
All
Alright.
right. That's going to be great. Shit. That's an 11.
21.
Oh shit!
I don't like not raging.
Yeah, so this little halfling just runs up on you and tries to jump on and grapple you. And do you just step out of the way, or do you just kind of like kick back so that way the momentum catches Gwen before she can really get a grip on you?
I think she just latches onto Cori's leg, and Cori's gonna try and like take her off and grapple her.
Okay.
So that's my athletics versus yours.
18.
20.
Fuck.
All right. So Cori, you have grappled Gwen. Technically, now both of you are in the grappled state.
All right. Your move.
Okay, so
Like she.
if am I grappling her or am I?
You
'Cause-
are both grappling each other.
She failed her grapple check. I'm saying like thematically she latched onto Cori's leg and then she just kind of like pulled her off like she was Velcro
Yeah.
and is now holding on to her by her shirt.
All right, cool. So I'm going to attempt to counter grapple.
Yes. To show who is grappling who.
Yeah, 'cause I just need to get a hold of you, and then
I don't
you're
know.
done.
Grappling is a weird rule.
You can grapple. The only thing that grapple does is it like
Reduces your
you to
speed to 0.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
Aggressive hug.
Yeah. All right.
You're gonna counter grapple.
Counter grapple.
I've got to roll bad eventually.
Grapple still.
I know, right? I mean, fucking,
Oh,
that's a 16.
9.
Okay, cool.
All right, so Cori, you have now been grappled by Gwen, and Gwen, you are currently grappled by Cori. So you're just in a really fierce
Cori was,
hugging
like,
match.
Holding her at like arm's length, and I imagine that she like reached up and like got her arm around Cori's arm, and then like now they're just like both holding on to each other and
Yeah,
like
I did that thing that little kids do where I like reached out with my legs and I pulled you in.
Oh god.
So like I got my legs around your waist type thing.
gotcha.
All right, your go.
All right. What can I do from here? Can I try to shove her to the ground? What are my options here?
I think you could advance into a pin, right?
You have to
Not
have
unless
the.
you have-
Oh, you have to go. You have to.
That's a feat thing, right?
Yep. You can. The rules for your fight was first one to the ground. So you can still attack the other person while they are grappled.
Yeah, so you can try to attack me to get me to weaken up on you, I guess.
Ah. But, well, I guess I do have a high strength. Alright, I'm gonna try and put you in a chokehold.
Do it.
And, like, count this as, like, an unarmed attack.
Okay.
Not terrible. 15.
That hits.
Alright. So that is 1 plus my strength modifier, which is going to be 4 HP damage.
Cool. And luckily, I do have the grapple feat. So, what that says is, you can use your action to try to pin a creature grappled by you. To do so, make another grapple check. If you succeed, and the creatures are both restrained, you and the creature are both restrained until the grapple ends. So I can try and grapple you to the ground.
Yep.
Alright.
Go
So
for the pin.
Alright.
I really wish I was raging. I would just pwn this. Don't fuck me. Okay, that's not bad. That's a 17.
Alright. Come on. Cori needs a new pair of
It's of
self-respect.
kind.
That was a 23.
Shit.
I don't know how we ever thought this was gonna work.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We're just wrestling in the background. I think we should just keep rolling until one of us wins. I don't know.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Coriander realizes that she's in some trouble here.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to face step out of your grapple.
Can you do that?
Yep.
Yeah. So like just she like shimmers like with like heat for a second,
Yeah.
and then she just kind of like
Poof.
just like right next to you. So in her summer form she does fire damage.
Bitch. I'm sorry.
I stack the deck against you. You can't rage, and I can cast fire on you without using any of my paladin stuff.
What a cheater.
What
I
a
know.
cheater, pumpkin eater.
I'm cheesing it. That's what I'm doing. So that's equal to my charisma.
Oh.
Fire equal to my charisma, which is going to be 3. So that's 3 fire damage. So it's just a.
Ow! Bitch!
All right.
And that's why,
and Gwen, make a dexterity save.
Oh my god.
As
Oh,
you've
shoot.
been climbed up onto Cori, so when she bamfs away, you are currently not holding on to anything, falling
That's
back.
a 5.
Shoot.
Yeah, so you just fall kind of onto your butt. You don't go fully full onto
Yeah.
your back, but yeah, you have just sat down on the ground looking at Cori as this wave of heat just blasts over you.
All right.
Ow!
Does that count as on the ground? I'm not following.
It's not a pin.
Okay. Continue.
Is she technically prone?
Yeah, she would be considered
If I
prone.
grapple her while she's prone, can we count it as a pin?
Yes.
All right, here I come. I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you.
Ah, shit.
Can I roll some
19.
percentiles for? Oh, later.
That's a nat 1.
Woo!
What should you use?
Ah,
Athletics or...
I mean, it's athletics, but it was a nat 1.
All right.
So she teleports, whoosh, fire. You fall on your butt. Cori like dives in for the pin, and I think you just roll out of the way, just like.
I want the both of you to roll a D100.
Porque?
If I get 69, do I win?
Obviously.
Obviously.
As if there was another number you could roll.
15.
84.
Oh shit.
All right. So, Blake and Caelum, you guys watch these two wrestle, just constantly almost getting out of each other's grasp for the next 15 minutes. You guys just watch them just constantly, like, almost getting each other to the ground. Like, it started off as a really cool, like, arm wrestling contest, but after, like, minute 5, the suspense is gone, and you're just watching these two just go at it. Until eventually Gwen does come out on top.
Woo!
As the D100 was a minutes to pin it timer.
Minutes to pin it.
Yep.
So Coriander's like on the ground with like her arm behind her back, and she's just fuck.
Say uncle. Say uncle.
No.
The arm's not supposed to twist that way. You're gonna.
I've got to call it now.
Yes. And then Gwen does a victory lap.
Hey DM,
Cori just rolls on
Yes.
her back and like.
can I roll a
on the
D100
ground
to
with
see
her
if I
fist.
have the right books to help with Blake's task?
Yes. I will allow this.
26.
26 is not going to be high enough for this, so you'll have to go to the library if you would like to check something out on that. But yeah, do you guys have anything else that you would like to do with your evening?
I'm gonna give those two dummies a medicine check to make sure that they didn't concuss each other.
Caelum, I know how much pressure it takes to rip someone's arm out of their socket, so like, we're good.
I'm not as fragile as you think I am.
I too know how much it takes to rip an arm out of a socket, and well, let's just be sure.
I feel like there's a lot that we should probably talk about.
What do you want to
Because
know?
Because I do not know how much pressure it takes to rip someone's arm out of their socket.
It takes 8 pounds of pressure to break someone's neck.
I did know that.
It's a very specific number. And I am concerned as to why you know that.
Because I've broken people's necks before, obviously.
So specific.
We practice a lot with watermelons.
Oh.
That's.
I guess that makes
I don't see the analog there because if the watermelon's overly ripe. Wouldn't it take less pounds of force to break the watermelon?
Well, obviously, if you don't know when the watermelon's ripe, you don't know what you're doing, but you have to
Or
put
do
it
you
on a
analog
stake.
it to like you're crushing the neck of an old man?
I mean, obviously that takes less pressure, but like if you're just snapping the neck of a normal Joe, or even a relatively strong person, you just see this is what you do. You take the watermelon and you put it on a stake, and then you attach 2 things to the side so that it gives that little resistance that you get when you take someone's neck, and then you just practice.
I
doing it
mean,
like that.
that's very elaborate.
Please
Why
don't
don't you
do
just
this
put
at
your
home.
hand- That's very elaborate.
Just
try and
indoor
snap somebody's neck. You
disclaimer.
could just like
Please.
put your hand underneath the chin and then jerk sharply upward.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do. You just
How do you know this?
Gwen, how many average Joes have you done this to?
Yes, Gwen.
like in practice, like 4.
Oh.
Normally it's like stabby stuff. So
No, back up. She's murdered people. She has a reason to know.
yeah, why do you know? Not that I'm not proud, because I'm proud. But why?
I read a lot of books.
Oh, have you ever tried it?
No, I grew up alone. For
You
the
ever
most
killed
part.
a man?
Like 2 people back in Shroudport.
That was your first?
I guess.
I'm so glad I could be there for your first, Caelum.
I'm sure there's some underlying euphemism that you're trying to pull here.
Nope.
Coriander starts seething as she remembers Skavix and all of the trouble that caused. And then she's like, I'm gonna go out into the woods and come back in my autumn form.
Anything
Alright,
can
cool.
happen in the woods.
And I'm going to set up the tent.
Okay.
Who wants some fish?
Stomps out into the woods, leaving smoking footprints.
Sounds
It's
good.
gonna start a forest fire.
It's all
Fish.
it's all fresh.
All right. So yeah, you guys go through the start of your evening, no problem. You've set up the tent multiple times at this point, so it's really no problem. And you do have your nice 3-person tent that's set up so all of you guys can either share a tent or if you would like to take watches while Cori is out switching between summer and autumn forms, you guys can do that as well. So what would you like to do for your evening?
I'll take a watch.
I'll meditate and then take a watch.
Okay.
I will sleep.
Super soundly.
I'll come back in half an hour after a short rest and take a watch as soon as they'll let me.
Okay. Yeah, so by the time that you get back, Blake, make a perception check. As you are just out taking your first watch while Caelum is currently meditating and Gwen is asleep.
That perception check is a 19.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely hear Cori as she approaches. And when you see her again, she's back in her autumn form. And Cori, when you return to camp, you can see that Gwen is passed out in the tent. Caelum, did you meditate in the tent or were you like under a tree or something?
Under a tree.
Okay. Yeah, and Cori, you see that Caelum is meditating under a tree that is near your guys' little clearing. Other than that, all is quiet. Old Bess is sleeping very soundly. Cybra is curled up next to Blake, just sleeping away.
Blake is taking a watch.
Yeah, Blake's taking first watch.
All right, I come out from behind a tree. Hello, Blake.
Hello.
I'm back. Are you taking watch?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, I'll take over for you.
All right.
Yep.
Feeling better. All right.
Feeling like my normal autumny self. She just smiles and swishes her hair.
Yep.
All right. I will go into the tent.
Okay. So yeah, you take Cybra, and it's you place Cybra between you and Gwen, so she's just kind of nestled up between the two of you while she's sleeping, and you guys and you go into a peaceful sleep. And Cori, you're up for about another 3 hours when Caelum exits his trance, and then it is just the two of you in this nighttime skylit glen.
Oh, welcome back.
Hello. You mind if I just meditate here?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna keep watch anyway.
All right. Coriander just kind of like steps into a, the cross-legged seat, and just sits down right where she's at and starts meditating.
Okay. So yeah, Caelum, Cori just begins meditating, and then you're left being the only one up this early in the morning. So what would you like to do? Also roll a d20 for me.
18.
Okay, so with an 18, you were able to find several books on alchemy within your meditative library. And and the ones that you managed to look through were more geared about the plants in the local area, as well as kind of more of like an herbology sense versus a practical alchemy sense. And so what you ended up getting was actually a pretty decent understanding of local poultices and herbal concoctions that you could make. Different salves, things like that. And you know that these are often the stepping stones to being able to create potions and other things like that.
Okay. Yeah, Caelum's gonna just like take his spear, put it behind his back, and like just crack it real quick.
Okay.
Plant it in the ground, stand watch.
Sure. All right, so make a perception check.
Do. Yeah. 15.
All right. So with your 15, you see off in the distance, and this doesn't actually happen until closer to the morning, where you can actually see the sun starting to rise. The sun starting to rise off in the distance. And you can see kind of silhouetted across some hills off in the distance these larger forms that you would know to be cave fishers, and they seem to be moving pretty quickly, not really coming towards where you guys are or your firelit encampment. They seem to kind of be skirting around as far away from it as they can, just sort of going back the way that you guys had come.
That's concerning. How far out are they? Like pretty far out?
They look like they are at least a half mile away from where you guys are. Like you can see them fairly well, even with this lower light. But you know that they aren't really posing a threat to you, and they don't seem to have noticed you.
I'm just gonna, if the fire's still up, he's gonna quickly kick some dirt over it just to lower their visibility a little bit more.
Yeah, and you just see them continuing to skitter, going back the direction of the woods that you guys had cleared out from their presence yesterday.
Okay. Gross. Gross.
All right. And then it's about 20 minutes after this that Gwen is the first person to wake up. Or actually, Cori would be the first person to wake up after about the 4 hours, along with Gwen. You guys kind of wake up at around the same time. And you know that Blake is going to be another hour or so until his full 8 are ready. So it's just you three early in the morning. And Gwen, when you wake up, you see Cybra kind of like wiggle awake next to you. And then as you start exiting the tent, she just sort of huddles along with you.
Oh, who's a good girl? All right. I'm going to start some coffee, heat up a pot of water.
By
And
the by, there were some cave fishers off in the distance heading back the way we came.
the more?
Yeah, it was like they were heading back into the woods.
So we didn't kill all of them? That's weird. Like, don't they normally live in caves? Why are they out and about?
Maybe when we went traipsing through, some of them evacuated and then came back to repopulate.
Where did they come from?
Where did they go? Where did they come from?
Cave Fisher
No,
Joe.
where did they come from?
I'll point in the direction where I saw them heading from.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, and you know that the direction that you've been heading down the road to get to Marrisville, this seems like it is more towards the right-hand side of where you guys are going. It seemed that they were about a half mile away on the right.
Like they came from the town or the opposite side?
Or at least towards
way?
that direction. Yeah, towards that
Okay.
way.
All right, hold still. I'm going to start climbing Caelum. And I'm gonna like stand on his shoulders and like put my hands on the top of his head to like see if I can see out in the distance and see if there's any like structures over there, or if it's just more woods or what.
Okay, make a perception check.
I could just...
No, 10.
Okay. Yeah, so with your 10, you don't really see much of anything, as you know that the town itself is still several days' ride away.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
There could be another burrow over there. There might be migrating nests, whatever.
So do we kill the burrow first, or we go back? I hate backtracking. And I just sit down on your shoulders and put my hand on your head.
We probably cleared out a majority of the cave fishes in that area. With the decrease in population, they won't be so aggressive to push out of the forest. So the townspeople should be safe for a while.
Are you saying we just, not our problem, keep going?
Yes.
Yeah, but that goddamn owlbear, baby.
I'm gonna get Blake.
Okay.
Like, is he awake? Is he
He
here
was
involved?
just like he was like 20 minutes away from waking up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cori goes and gets him and drags him out of bed and catches him up on the cave fisher situation. Blake, what do you think?
Well, we knew that we didn't kill them all.
But do you think that the ones that are left are going to be a problem?
How many
They
did
re-
I see? Sorry.
2.
Oh, just 2.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, 2 of them we just scared off whenever we were making our way to the burrow. The townspeople know how to scare them away, and it looks like it's effective. Even me just lighting my crossbow seems to scare them off. I don't like what it's doing to the environment, but
They don't.
I don't know. Can we like
What's
get a
the
druid to
line
get star and help fix this?
What?
Sorry, I
What?
spoke over you.
I heard getting
Sorry.
a druid named Gaston will fix it.
He said a druid guest
To
star.
guest star.
Oh, a
Sorry.
druid guest star.
Sorry, Blake is breaking the fourth wall.
Sorry. Like, what is the line of succession for these things? Like, if we killed their queen or king or whatever, like, do they have a method of replacing it, or?
Didn't we also like destroy that cave? So they're kind of just gonna be in the woods.
Think about ants. Whenever you kill off their queen, the colony's going to fade away.
Yes.
Unless one of those 2 is like, I don't know, a princess or something.
I guess if they're more like bees, then sure.
Yes, if they're like bees, then they can just raise a new queen.
Indoor. DM.
Yo. What's good? Said the voice in the clouds.
With the lore of monstrosities that Blake may know, does he know if cave fishers are more like bees or ants?
Or are they scorpion spider hybrids?
I mean, they don't
Yeah.
fly.
You would know.
Well, both ants and bees can fly, so
Well,
You know, it cocoons their
Don't-
prey. It's spiders.
I believe they are insects. They are not considered monstrosities.
but specifically, do we get the sense that if we kill off their queen, will the rest of them fade away?
They'll
Like,
hold
not be
full.
able to reproduce?
They
expand.
don't seem like a hive collective kind of creature, as they are more of like an infestation, I guess. Like if you get some, then you can clear it out eventually. But it's not like they follow a strict leader or anything like that.
What you're saying is that they're bees.
Yes.
So
No,
They're
it's
not
more like we
bees,
kicked a nest of
beasts.
spiders.
Beasts.
Yeah, a spider's nest would be a good idea. It would be a good
Like
good bridge to draw.
mechanically, are these beasts
no, they're monstrosities.
They're
monstrosities?
insects.
They're insects?
Yes.
Oh, insectoids.
They are insectoids,
Oh.
I
Wait.
believe.
So
I'm gonna
Steve,
look it up right now, so that way we can clear up this confusion.
I want to know. I want to know if I can talk
I don't
to
think
them.
insectoid is a 5th edition monster type.
No,
So
that
they're
attitude.
like spider, scorpion, cockroaches.
Oh, they are monstrosities. Fuck me running. That works.
Maybe later.
Gotta catch me first.
I mean,
So yeah, they are considered monstrosities. You would know that they are more like a spider collective than they are bees or ants, and that they are all relatively looking out for either the betterment of the collective or just themselves. They don't really have a strict hive master.
Yeah, if anything, if they see the nest destroyed, they'll probably just move on to a new ecosystem.
All right, if we come back and that town's destroyed, not my fault. Who wants coffee? And I jump down.
And that's the end of that.
I make breakfast, coffee, and get us on our way.
All right.
I'll
great.
shove a stack of papers in front of Blake, and it's like the synopsis of what I found out about healing herbs and medicinal plants.
Okay.
You had all of this on you?
No, I sort of wrote it in like the last couple of hours.
Oh. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I have another Stephen question.
Yes.
Would Coriander know how to activate that fairy ring and possibly send something to the Feywild?
Make an Arcana check or a Nature check, depending on which one's higher.
I think they're both going to be the same. How about a survival check?
I'm gonna say sure. Why not?
That's a 7.
Okay. You're pretty sure you have a good idea on how these things work. In that they usually require a fairy or a sprite to be able to activate them.
Caelum?
Hmm?
What do you have in the way of messaging magics?
Pulls out a tome. Flip.
There's some people in the Feywild who can talk to birds and they'll give a message.
Nothing in the form of messaging magic per se.
And I knew somebody who had a baby dragon that could belch forth scrolls.
Owls?
That's awesome.
Do I have level 2 spells? Yes, I do. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just double checking.
As
The perks of being
Caelum
a
like
wallcaster.
digs through his books and spells, Coriander kind of like waits on the tips of her toes, kind of bouncing impatiently.
No, not anything just yet.
Nothing. Okay. Well,
No, that's a big no. That's kind of
okay. That's fine. Just wanted to check.
I mean, I could do. No, that's only for myself though. Never mind.
All right.
And out of character, you couldn't send the familiar into the Feywild. Like, he's got to stay with you.
You can?
There's
If
nothing
they were
in the
considered a fey creature?
Is a sprite on the familiar list?
It is for warlocks. Pack of the chain.
Damn it.
There is the other one, which I learned about some of that hidden lore last week while I was listening to your guys's future session.
Keith Sith.
Yeah. So if you wanted, you could get a Tezzeret, which is, according to real world lore, a fairy.
Give me an hour. And
We are summoning facts into this stream.
Caelum like just
Maybe.
sits down cross-legged, gets Moonin like on his lap, and then just holds the bird's face in his hands, just stares.
Okay.
In the meantime, Coriander's going to write a letter home, essentially.
Okay.
Blake has plenty of paper if you need it.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Blake, do you mind if we chat for a second?
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of pull him out of earshot because it could be a sensitive issue. So like, who are you writing to?
Well, at one point I was writing a letter to McCarth.
Right. The letter's in your bag about like, if I die, that whole stuff.
Those are for Ilni. she's a friend.
What kind of friend?
A friend. She's a hunter.
Did you train with her?
Yeah.
What is she? Like human, elf,
Half-elf.
halfling? A half elf. Oh, okay. And have you known her long?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does she write you?
Kind of hard if you're on the move all the time.
Caelum! I'm gonna throw a rock at him.
Ow!
They are standing off to a distance.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
I'm not sure. And I wouldn't think so.
Why not?
Like Caelum said, it is hard to send letters whenever you're on the move.
Yeah. So that's why you haven't sent yours yet?
Well, I'm not going to.
Why not?
Because I have no idea where she is.
Oh, so it's just like a writing exercise type deal? Or is it like a...
Sort of. It's essentially my journal.
Right.
But, I mean, shit, if I do die, I would hope the three of you would still be around. And the only other person who may want to know what was going on, that would be Yoni.
Right. Yeah. And you don't have any other family, right? I mean, not... Like, just the other blood hunters?
Yeah, it was just the older blood hunters, the one who trained the rest of them. No, apparently I do have a mother.
That's good. I mean, like...
As most people tend to.
Right. So, but you don't know, like, do you want to find her? Or is it like she dumped you and it's like, fuck her?
I don't know. I don't remember anything other than being with the hunters. I've no idea how I got there. Vind, the man who named me, he said he just found me.
Like as a toddler?
I guess so.
Weird. This sounds like a mystery. But a personal mystery. So if it's not something you want to get into, that's fine. But I kind of want to get into it because it's pretty interesting.
I think I do want to try to find my mother.
Yeah. What about your dad? I mean, there aren't that many Dragonborn. It's not like... Well, I haven't met that many Dragonborn, so I don't think there are that many Dragonborn.
I'm still trying to sort of decipher what Tarlean told me.
Oh, right, the Oh, yeah. Is he your dad? Does that work?
I don't know, he was kind of like dancing around everything. He said that I have a mother and that he was very close to her and that we are very close.
Is he like a real dragon?
I think so.
Like a big ol'...
Ancient black dragon, yeah.
Your poor mother. I don't want to picture that anymore. I'm gonna walk away now, and I'm sorry. It's not your fault, it's my fault. Gwen just kind of walks away like wide-eyed, staring at the ground.
I don't know Draconic lore, so I can't actually tell her how that would work.
Can't they, like, turn into people, though?
They can, but Blake doesn't know that.
Oh, okay. With the math, it doesn't work.
It's just the gif of the lady doing trig. Like, I don't understand.
That's exactly it.
All right. So yeah, you guys have been having this conversation off to the side for a while now. And when you get back, you see that Caelum's ritual is actually almost finished, and he's just been holding this large raven in his hands. like a large loaf of bread for close to an hour now, and this bird has just been looking at him. And it just, I mean, it blinks every once in a while. It kind of like wiggles a little bit to let you know it's not dead. It's just doing its bird thing.
I think at the end of the ritual, you see like the third eye opening up on Caelum, and that white spot on the raven open up as well, and it just like, and it's just a cat with wings.
So it is, what you see is that the white spot actually shimmers and then begins to envelop the body of this raven, but it leaves the wings untouched. Just these large black wings, and as it morphs, it's almost like watching clay form and then dry in front of your eyes, as it just seems like this masonry black cat with this little white bead then just kind of breaks out of its shell, and then you just see this cat with this little white spot on its chest and large black wings.
I didn't think that would work, but it did. What was that?
It's just...
It's a cat now?
It could be anything, but yeah, it's actually a terrarium.
What?
It's a cat with wings.
Does it have wings?
It does. It is a cat with these two large wings off of its
shit.
back. And its
Oh
tail
my
is just
God.
kind of swishing as you're still holding it in front of you, so its bottom legs are just hanging down and its tail is just kind of going.
Love it.
Who are you
I don't
writing
like it.
to Cori. Who are you writing to?
Just my mother and father. I wanted to let them know that I made it to the natural plane all right, and, well, you don't see a fairy ring every day, so I figured I should probably clue them into what's going on.
Okay.
How's your cat gonna find her family?
Magic some BS.
The cat just kind of nods along with you when you say magic some BS.
Actually, when when Cori is finished writing those letters, yeah, Caelum will roll them up into a scroll. Think for a second and go, hold that pose, and then put a finger to his head and pull a memory strand out from it using encode thoughts.
Okay. So yeah, you guys watch as Caelum just puts his finger to his temple and makes a small squinching motion, and as he does, he begins to pull out just this illusory long blue chit receipt almost that has these arcane, that has what look to be arcane elvish letterings on them as he pulls it out.
And on the backside of the scroll, he writes detect thought and then ties it together with the string. Because it's tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So then you write it. You just kind of hold it together on your new moonin, and he just kind of looks at you.
All right, go find Coriander's parents, I guess. That's how this works.
Just kind of like wiggles a little bit and stretches its wings because you still had it like in your hands.
Yeah.
And once you open up your hands to let it go, and you just see it kind of glide very nimbly down to the ground. And then its wings fold up against its back as it just confidently walks over to the small fairy circle. And you see it sit down in the middle of it. And then it looks up at all of you. And then you see it bring one of its back legs up in that very jutting position as it starts to clean itself. And as it does, you just see this very quick blue light encircle the fairy ring, and as it's just licking itself, sounding like an old man eating chili in the night, it just disappears.
What the fuck, Indoor?
It just disappears in front of your vision.
Coriander watches this with wonder.
Gwen watches this with disgust.
I watch it with puzzlement.
She turns to Caelum and says, "You really are amazing."
I didn't know I could do that either. But hey, you learn something new every day.
And then Cori's gonna hug him.
Aw.
And then finish packing up the camp.
All right.
I'm gonna nudge Blake when they hug.
Yes.
Gwen, have you got something in your eye?
Shut up! sorry. Never mind, I'll tell you later.
I'm cupping
Blake.
something, but I don't think I have ears.
Ear hole.
Just the tiny little holes in the back. Yeah, so you guys clean up your pack, and the entire time that Moonin was cleaning itself, Cybra was just like kind of like doing the little puppy jump. Like, I don't know if I want to play with it or chase it or what. Like, even if he caught it, he wouldn't know, or she wouldn't know what to do. So yeah, you guys finish cleaning up your small camp, packing everything onto your cart. And then you begin heading off towards Marrisville. And who is actually going to be directing the cart for the first part of the day?
Ooh, I'll do it.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so make a handle animal check. Animal handling. I don't know why I said handle animal. That's it.
I'm gonna handle this ant. 15.
Okay, 15's good. What were you gonna say?
Blake's gonna be reading the research notes.
Okay, sounds good.
Over his shoulder, if Caelum notices, he's just gonna chat Blake up.
Okay, sounds good. So with your 15, you end up being able to lead your horse along the road, no real problem. And your day goes by pretty uneventfully. Blake, as you're reading through these notes, Caelum's annotation is very practical, like from a clergy standpoint, being able to have proper documentation on your reference notes. You can see that there are even some small plants that have been drawn off to the side to give you an idea of things that you might want to look for. And with his help, it actually, through the better part of the day, you are able to gather as much information as you possibly can out of this, as Caelum is right there being like, all right, I know this writing's a little messy, but my pen slipped and it's ink, so I don't really have any
I
eraser.
had to read my shield, and my shield has like that little dent at the end I didn't really see, and you know.
Yeah. So yeah, he helps you along, learning all about salves and different poultices that you can make with the surrounding foliage. And then Gwen and Cori, what are you guys doing during this time? This is going to be like
Gwen
the first
is
half.
working out in the back. She's bored AF.
Okay.
I'll like be hanging off the back doing crunches.
Coriander's going to watch a tree and just appreciate all the little things about it.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys...
And clink away on her ukulele.
Okay. So yeah, you guys continue on. No extra worry there. And then you get to the point where it's about time to switch riders, unless, Caelum, you just want to continue being the one who's driving Old Best for the day.
If no one offers.
Okay. Does anybody else want to take a go at driving the cart?
God, please, something.
All right.
All right, so Gwen jumps at the chance to change up what she's been doing. So make an animal handling check.
I'm not great at this. This is 17. I'll
Okay.
take it.
Not bad. Yeah, best. When you guys switch riders, you all stretch your legs for a little bit and like really get, just have a nice little respite and then hop back on and continue on throughout your day. And nothing else really seems to. You don't really see anything else. You do see about a mile away towards the end of the night that there are several more cave fishers that seem to be making their way away from you back the way that you guys came. But other than that, you guys don't really see anything else throughout your day.
How many cave fishers?
It would be about 3 in this small group.
Nobody's concerned about this? I'm just saying they're going.
Just slightly concerned.
I'm not saying I'm not concerned. I'm just saying I think we've done as much as we can without just like holding up for another week or so.
Does anyone have any magic shit that they can do that we can see what's going on over there, or like listen, or like fucking get a message back? I don't know.
Well, my only messenger is off in the Feywild somewhere.
All right, cool. I mean, if you guys don't care, I don't care. So
Time works differently in the Feywild. He might be done already.
how do you get him back?
Magic some bullshit.
I imagine you can summon him.
I could. I just don't want to summon him before his task is done. You know?
Can't you see through his eyes?
Well, he has to be on the same plane as me.
Mm.
Also, within effectively 100 feet.
What use is it then?
Shrug.
You can see 100 feet away just by being there.
She's not wrong, dude. So how is it getting nighttime?
Yeah, it's getting about nighttime. You guys have gone for a full day's journey, and you really haven't seen much of anything along the road other than that small group of cave fishers that had run by about a mile away from where you guys were.
During the day?
Yeah, they were moving throughout the day.
That's
a
weird,
little
right?
Concerning, yeah. They're nocturnal, right?
But we've only fought them during the day.
Well, because we've disturbed them during the day.
They were out, right?
They came after us during the day. They disturbed us.
That's true.
You know, again, I really think that there's something much bigger going after these cave fishers, because normally they shouldn't be out in the plains.
Oh, right. They're not from this plane of existence?
No, they're typically not found above ground.
They're
Oh.
subterranean things.
You
Right.
think something is driving them out?
Well, something is getting into their
Something-
territory.
Bigger?
Or someone.
Hmm.
There's a lot of things that could happen. Drow, Duragar.
What's a Duragar?
Do you remember Mugsworth?
Was he one of your friends?
You slept with him.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You know, I'm bad with names.
The dwarf.
Right. No, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just imagine him not in bed, grayer and meaner.
I try to imagine him not in bed a lot, but yeah.
Oh, do you remember the cheese?
The cheese?
The big
Yes.
cheese.
The big cheese.
Oh, the big yes, yes. Okay, yes. Not the cheese cart. No, that was a bread cart. The big,
Yes,
yeah, the dude, the gnome, the gnome.
Yes, the mafia cheese man.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one.
fuck that guy. What about him?
Well, he's similar to a Duragar. Like, he's a gnome, but imagine that, but a dwarf.
Okay, so like Caelum, but a dwarf?
No. Have you ever seen a drow?
Yeah, they're like super pale and with like they look like Caelum.
Right. No. Caelum's not a drow.
You're not a drow?
I'm not in this conversation anymore.
No.
No, you
He's
guys
not a
are.
drow.
This is during the process of like getting your camp ready at night that you guys are having these conversations.
Friggin' Gwen just gets roped into a conversation about where drow came from and why they're different from Shadowkai and why they're different from Eladrin. And you see, elves began when Coralon was wounded and he bled, and we were born from his blood, and like starting from the beginning, and now you're trapped. Good job, Gwen.
Yeah, she's not gonna she's like gonna start listening and then like 5 minutes in, just glazed look and nothing is seeping in.
If she ever tries to walk away, she just gets grabbed and put back in her spot.
Oh my god.
All right, so
No.
Caelum and Blake, you guys are continuing to work on your alchemical notes. If you would like, you could make a nature or survival check for the surrounding area you guys are in to see if you can find any of the herbs specified.
I'd like to
in
make a
these
survival
texts.
check.
Yes.
7.
All right.
9. Sorry.
That's fine.
14.
All right, so yeah, you guys set out and begin looking around, and Blake, you were just not having any luck with being able to find anything that you would really be able to make use out of. A lot of this just seems like wild grass. But then as you are moving around, your tail actually sweeps some of that grass away, and Caelum, you spot that there are just small, tiny green herbs that are growing up from the ground that you know if you were able to grind up, that these would be the start of like a very basic remedy.
I'll carefully pick some. Nice job, Blake.
What?
Found some herbs.
Oh. Okay. Cool. Yes, I'll take them. I will put them in part of the botany kit. I'm not sure what it's. It sounds like the right thing to do, so I'll stick it away. And I guess we'll go back.
So in my temple, there's actually something called moon motes that produce drops of the moon that's used during the alchemical process to boost up the efficiency of herbs and potions and that sort of stuff.
What?
That, Gwen, is why Lolth is called the Great Deceiver.
Yep.
The elves are explaining.
Yep.
You don't elf-splain to me.
All right, and are you guys just having the same watches that you had as the night before, with Cori taking first watch, Caelum taking second watch, or are you guys mixing that up at all?
I'll take first watch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so both of you make sets of perception rolls.
Alright.
I haven't been to see Brother Grin in a while. I hope he's not lonely. 19.
What is my perception? Because I forgot. That's 15.
Okay. Yeah, so both of your nights go by entirely uneventful. You don't see anybody else coming by. You don't see any cave fishers wandering off in the back. If anything, you see, you kind of, Caelum, come to a start a little bit as you see that there are some pretty quick moving shapes off to the right. And then as you get a little bit better view, you actually just see that they're deer that are just kind of bounding across these plains completely unmolested by anything that would be around them, trying to either hunt them or fight against them. And they just seem to be minding their own business and continuing on. And then you guys awake with no serious issue, having spent the night out on the road. Is there anything that you guys would like to do in the morning, or are you just hopping back on the cart as you know that towards the end of today you'll probably reach Marrisvile?
I do want to ask if, because yeah, this is what we're doing now. If Caelum was able to find anything on Tarlane Mildaris.
Caelum, make a roll a d20, and this is going to be a history check.
Can I add my proficiency to it?
Yes.
Ah,
You're in your home library.
I'm in my home. 9, 15, 9, 20, 25.
Yeah, that is a DC for sure. So while you are in your library and going through, you begin to search for any kind of text from the ages gone past. Specifically, you start looking for a lot of older bound books, as you know that binding is actually a very good way to check out how old a book is. A lot of the older ones will just come down to a collection of pages that have been bound into a thick container of leather, and it takes you a while, and you eventually do find a book talking about the time before Dragonborn, before they actually became very prevalent. And during that time, you see that there are references to dragons and to giants, and how during this time, before the establishment of the free kingdoms that you guys know today to be your continent, that during that time, the war between the giants and the dragons raged for thousands of years. It never seemed like it was ever going to stop for the most part. And during this time, there were a handful of dragons that became more than just mindless creatures. They began to plot, they began to scheme, they began to have ideas of grandeur far stronger than that would than a standard dragon would be, which is already a very serious feeling that they have. And one of those names stands out to you, that being Tarlean. And Tarlean, from the text that you can read, was ancient before the kingdoms began. So you're guessing that this dragon, if he is who Blake is saying that he is at least 3,000 years old. And during his time, in the area that you would now know as the Warring Kingdoms to the south, Tarlean commanded a solid fourth of that to himself and called that his domain.
Oh, man. I'm going to take this information and I'm going to just start writing them on parchment.
Okay.
Caelum's book reports.
Ah.
Today I read about the Warring Kingdoms and their dragon god.
Now let me copy off of your homework.
Nerd.
All right. Yeah, so you guys get that earlier in the day. And as you set off, old Bess she's totally cool with you guys now. Having ridden with you since Shroudport, she is very comfortable around you. And she doesn't need an animal handling check for you guys to successfully pilot her each and every several hours. She seems to be totally housebroken in terms of the Four Keeps. She's cool with you guys. And you guys ride for roughly about 5 hours. And that is when, Gwen, I would like for you to make a perception check with advantage as you guys are kind of riding over this small hill.
I rolled 217, so that's,
okay.
I think 19 total.
All right, so you start getting a sense that you've been here before. Maybe not during your time with the Goliaths heading out, as you guys never really went past. You guys never really went past the large bay that you know is to the north of where you guys are. But during your fight with Eulalian, you recall this area. You remember there being in front of you, if you were to position yourself, the city of boats, and then behind you is a large forest. And you begin looking around and you spot a familiar hill as to where you believed that you had actually been fighting Eulalian in your dreamlike state. Now I believe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna hard turn the cart that way.
Okay. So yeah, you guys get taken on the cart off the road and begin moving over these hills. And as you do, you're about 200 feet away from as you crest over this hill to where you believe in your heart of hearts, where you know this axe to be. And as you crest over the hill, you see that there is a large opening in the ground itself that seems to be split, almost like a continental shelf had kind of like come up against itself to create a fissure in the ground. And as you guys look at this fissure, you see that there are 2 white mandibles that begin to crawl out of this fissure in the ground. And that is where we are going to go to our first break of the evening. So I wanted to say thank you
Blood
to...
die.
Yep.
Blood die.
Blood die. Yes. Yes, oh yes.
Sorry.
Let's do blood
Sorry.
die. We'll retroactively do blood die. We always assume Blake does blood die.
That was a natural 20.
Damn.
That sounded like blink.
Freaking nice.
Destiny. So yes, when we come back from our break, we are going to be going into to a quick round of cave fishery combat, and then resuming this excellent adventure on our way to Marrisville. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has come by. Thank you to LB and Cyber and Graybeard and JD and everybody else who's been donating bits, because Twitch is doing a cool thing where it's bits for charity. So they will donate money that you guys end up giving in holiday spirit. So it's a pretty fun time. But we're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place, and we will be right back. All right, everybody. See you soon.
Enjoy the new break screen.
Break screen. Hello, everybody.
And 3, 2, 1.
What are you doing? I'm so scared and confused. Felt like I was playing Five Nights at
Sorry
Freddy's.
for audiocast listeners.
I'm gonna nuke it. The whole thing. This whole episode never happened. Hello, everybody, and welcome.
I'm so sorry. JD's probably like, what the fuck?
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. Look, that's how we get the blood pumping here at the Indoor Adventure stream. Is by shrieks to start our breaks. So, speaking of shrieks to start our breaks, you guys have seen that there is a cave fisher currently crawling out of this large crevice that is in the ground in front of you. You guys are still about 200 feet away from it. And it is currently just making its way out. So what would you guys like to do?
Is this exactly where I think I'm supposed to be?
Yes. And as you are kind of debating on wondering whether or not this is where you're supposed to be, you actually hear a voice in the back of your head that just says, "Oh shit."
No.
I don't know
what
my...
do you mean, oh shit?
So, you know how sometimes people tell you don't know your own strength?
Did you do this?
Oh shit. So it's probably me throwing that out
I'm not
there.
even mad. I'm just impressed.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. It's just Gwen hearing this?
yeah, it's just Gwen hearing this.
Gwen, who are you talking to?
Shush, hold on. Do you mind? I'm on the phone.
Blake is lighting his crossbow.
Okay. Yeah, so as you light your crossbow and you guys get ready on this hill, you see that this cave fisher kind of crawls about halfway out, and then you see another one start crawling out until there is a small group of 3, and then they just begin kind of scuttling away from where you guys are. They don't seem to have taken notice of your position.
Coriander gets out her sword and she's like, Gwen, this is not a good time to start talking to yourself.
I am talking to Gray Skull. Do you mind? So, are you saying that the axe that I need to get is in the cave?
Yeah, you know, it probably fell down there. Hindsight, it seems like a really bad idea.
Alright, you owe me in this fight. I'm just saying. Alright, you guys ready? I'm start stretching.
Yeah.
This is why we don't pray. Coriander's just gonna start running at the cave fishers.
Okay.
Before she runs, I cast aid. Everyone increase your max
Okay.
HP by 5.
They hadn't taken notice of you guys. If you are just interested in letting them wander off, but if you just want to begin your full charge, okay, full charge it is.
I can stop them. I'm gonna.
You're not Summer. All right.
All right. So yeah, all four of you begin making your way towards these cave fishers. So let's get some initiative.
Wings, you're up 5 max HP.
Up 5. My max HP is 5 more now.
5 more, yeah. I've cast 8 on everyone before combat started.
It's not temporary HP. It just increases my
This is your max.
Interesting. Ooh. Ooh.
And, yeah. Also, you'll be at like 39 out of 39. Wow, Blake is at Nan out of Nan. Nan.
It should be 41 out of 45.
I have no life.
So, it's what I'm gonna do.
Full on.
Briander full on Naruto running towards those things.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm just gonna Caelum, throw a fireball in there.
Yeah, when my turn comes at the end of the round.
Oh god damn it. Oh.
Do you actually have fireball?
Okay.
No.
Cori. Cori,
No.
what did you get? What did you do?
I'm just running towards the cave fishers.
What is your initiative?
Oh. Well, if you want my initiative, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a 16.
Okay, Caelum, what's yours? Did you get the nat 1? You look at me so sassy.
I gave you the line.
All right.
I'll cast it at the end of the round.
Jeepers, okay.
Wait, did you?
Look, we need a special emote for a Caelum 1. Gwen, what did you get?
10.
Okay, and Blake, what'd you get?
I mean, given the percentages, it's 5%.
22.
Okay.
And I have
Because
been
you always
rolling
go first.
very well tonight.
Alrighty, so...
Blake is ready. Blake is always ready.
Oh, yeah. No, you had already lit your crossbow. You were down to fuck up some cave fisher.
Can blood hunters get like an assassin like ability where you like get advantage on your? No. Okay.
They could if they multi-classed assassin.
I mean, it only takes 3 levels.
No.
3 levels and then more after that, because I'm pretty sure you don't get that until like 6th level.
Sounds about right.
I have no idea.
It's only
Right.
6 levels of rogue. Come on.
So what are you doing, Blake?
I see Cori start running after them.
Yep.
All right. I take a shot at the one in front.
Okay, sounds good.
How far are they away?
They are... You guys were about 200 feet away from where they were.
All right, so I'll take this at disadvantage. Damn it. Okay, the second one was a natural 20,
No.
but the first one was a 7. Plus 7 was 14, which I don't think hits.
14 is not going to hit, so your shot just misses it as it continues to scuttle away. And then the fishers kind of all like rear back a little bit and look down at whatever it is just came towards them. And they see this bright light flaring. And it lets out a very startled noise as that one in front just uses its full round action to just move as quickly away from this fired bolt as it possibly can. So then next up is Cori.
All right, I'm going to run up to the closest one I can and give it a good old slash.
They're
How far are they?
very far away. They're
are they?
Yeah. They were at 200 feet away when you guys started just like bull rushing them down a hill. So you know that you would get there.
A couple of rounds.
Yeah,
huh?
you'd get there in a couple of rounds. So if all of you guys are rushing towards them, Blake, you can take a few more shots as it'll take your party members several rounds to get up to them unless they have any distance attacks that they can do.
I have a couple of javelins left.
Okay, and javelins have a range of 20-60. So yeah, it would still take you at least 2 rounds to get up there. Caelum, do you have any far away distance magics that you can use?
If I really wanted to blast them with a guiding bolt, I can move 60 feet and be within range.
Okay.
Are we killing these things? Yeah.
can.
Yeah, he'll jog up 30 feet and then guiding bolt the back one.
Okay. Yeah, so your guiding bolt hits that back one, and then the other two that hadn't moved yet also use their movement to continue running.
Oh, they're just fucking off.
Yeah, they wanted nothing to do with you guys, and then you started aggressing them, so they are very scared, being harrowed by all of this fire and magic, and just fucking on off from this crevice they crawled out of.
You know,
I'm really thinking that we should just go in. Like, if they're gonna bug off anyway.
yeah, bug off.
What is their speed?
Their speed is only 20 feet.
I can catch up with them eventually.
You just see Cori just hauling ass through these fields.
And she shouts over
Bring it
her
on,
shoulder.
asshole.
We're going in the cave!
What? I was gonna. She just stops where she is. It's just like an orange spot, just looking disappointed in the distance, and then she just starts walking back with her head down,
Dragging her sword behind her.
dragging her sword. No, she knows how to treat a sword. She doesn't do that.
Oh, no fight. Gwen kind of just goes, oh.
I think this kind of supports my idea that either something is in there driving the cave fishers out, so if you're itching for a fight, it's probably in there.
Okay.
I
I'm
think
gonna get as close to it as possible and peek over the edge.
All right. And it just looks like it goes down into darkness. You cannot see a bottom.
Well, I think we've been due for a delve for a while now.
Hey.
Ha. All right, cool. Let's do this. And Gwen's gonna start running at it. Like
Okay.
she's gonna jump in.
I'm gonna yell stop.
Is there
Whoa! Wait!
is there a ledge?
No, it is just like, it looks like, did you see Doctor Who with Matt Smith where they had like the tears that just looked like the cracks in the wall? It's that, but on the ground.
Doctor Who. Oh yeah. Mhm.
Just also for a general audience. If you haven't seen the Matt Smith Doctor Who with the cracks in the wall, that is what it looks like, but just on the ground.
Does anyone have any rope?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Well, let's tie this bitch off and get down in there.
Again, Old Bess is a nag.
What?
Fools.
No, a bitch is. Oh no,
Yes,
it's
nag
more
is-
like a bitch in the general term, not bitches in a single thing.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, and I'm sorry I called you a drow. Apparently that was a bad thing.
Apology accepted.
They're not inherently bad, but
Nope,
That-
no. Later. Later.
okay.
Do we have spikes or anything that we can tie this stuff down to?
It all started with Cor.
I have a javelin.
I mean, we could just back the wagon up.
Yeah, that's something I really don't want to do.
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna thrust the javelin into the ground as hard as I can and like tie my rope to it.
Okay.
It's a horrible pin.
Well, I mean, do you have a better plan?
we
Can
have
you
spikes
bamf
from-
down there?
From the tent.
Yeah.
Can we? I mean, those are more for anchoring a tent as opposed to however much we all weigh, which is going to be a lot. But
Does no one have a climbing kit?
no.
No? I mean,
No.
there's rocks. You can tie things to rocks.
Is there a big enough rock?
Make a perception check. You guys look for a biggin rock.
A big
I would like to look for a big old rock with a 13, please.
13
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, you guys, you find a rock that you think is large enough that it would be able to hold your weight.
I hate it when you say it like that, but okay.
Yeah.
We go one at a time.
Yep, I'll go first. Don't worry.
Okay.
I worry a lot.
What if, hear me out. What if I go first?
But you're the biggest.
Exactly. So if I can get down, then all of you can definitely get down.
You have all the best ranged attacks, though.
Can you see in the dark?
No.
I hand Blake a torch.
My still lit crossbow.
Oh, that too. Give back my torch.
All right, dude. I'll kind of hold the rope too to make sure that he's not.
Okay.
How are you gonna go down there? Just like slowly walk down the wall?
Repelling, yeah.
All right.
So
I'll help her hold the rope.
Okay.
now start heading down.
Okay. Yeah. So you
Right,
begin your descent into this crack in the ground. I would like for you to make a athletics check as you begin to lower yourself and really just kind of cinch your hands down on this rope. And what is the length of rope that you guys tied?
50 feet.
Okay.
Then nothing bad happens, right?
6.
Okay. So, as you begin to descend down, you get probably about 15 feet down into this hole. And the three of you up on the top see that this rock actually starts to tilt out of the ground. As your newly buffed up dragon friend is a little bit more than this rock can bear, and it seems to be mostly sticking out of the ground than it does actually into the soil. As
Gonna
it
grab
begins.
that rock and try and tilt it back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both of you make a athletics check to try and keep this rock in the ground.
I'm giving myself proficiency. Third
Who
eye
is
open.
both of us?
That would be Gwen, or that would be Cori and Caelum, as they are the two that are on top trying to keep this rock stabilized. Blake, you feel yourself the rope starting to lower with you.
Athletics check, right?
Yep.
And I'm
Natural 20.
Okay.
Woo!
Yeah, so
And
Cori just holds on to it. Continue.
I was
I
gonna-
imagine
God damn it.
falling into the wall
Okay.
to slow down.
Yeah.
Sure.
I imagine Cori just grabs the rope itself and then takes over for the rock.
Okay. Yeah, so you were just
Bitch, I am your rock.
Aww.
Oh,
So yeah, you are just holding this rope in place as Blake, you continue your descent down. So make another athletics check as you make your way.
7.
Okay. So you have been trying to maintain with your hand going off the wall. And then you feel your other hand is starting to slip, as that is the hand that you've been mostly cutting to actually do all of your rolls. So you feel that the skin hasn't properly healed from where you had done your divination roll earlier in the day, and it actually begins to send you down this rope. Make a dexterity save as you try and just scrabble onto this rope while you feel yourself beginning to fall.
12.
Okay. So yeah, you catch yourself, and you're about 25 feet down this hole. Well, more like 30 feet at this point.
Blake, come back up. I have an idea.
What's your idea?
I just realized I can cast Featherfall.
Cori's holding onto the rope and kind of skidding in the grass. He's already halfway down. At this point, you might as well just jump and cast it.
How
Caelum
many
just, steps forward and jumps.
How many
off.
times can you do that?
I can do it 3 times.
All right. So
All right.
Caelum, you were just jumping into the hole.
Yeah, Caelum just shrugs, takes a step off, and jumps in.
Shit, that means someone's not going to be able to do it.
No, I can designate up to 5 creatures. So when I pass by you, let go.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, you had this conversation before the jump.
What is the range? Is it touch or do you just
60 feet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you just choose all of your friends. And then you guys just jump down into a cave.
Yeah.
I I mean,
Timing's gonna be weird, so.
Yeah. So you see Caelum jump down, and he just begins steadily floating down.
magic?
Magic!
Yep. As soon as Cori feels the rope go slack, she runs down there, or runs over and jumps in.
Am I magic too now?
Yep.
Cori drags Gwen along.
You're
Ah!
always magic, Gwen.
Blake will just slow his crossbow in the air like Mary Poppins.
And you guys see at the top of this crevice just...
Oh no!
Cybra's just like very confused watching you guys all descend into the cave.
Go back to the cart!
Yeah, and she'll just... You see her just move away from the crevice opening.
God, I really hope she doesn't get eaten by a fucking cave fisher.
It just echoes out of this cave. Yeah, so you guys continue down, and it goes for about 120 feet
Jeez.
of you guys just going through darkness. And as you look down, you can actually see that there is a little bit of light at the bottom of this tunnel that seems to be flickering.
I have a question.
Yes.
How slowly do you fall with Featherfall?
You are reduced to 60 feet per round until the spell ends.
So not very slow at all.
Comparatively, pretty slow.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say if we got close to the end of the rope.
Also, you also take no falling damage when you hit the ground.
That's 10 feet a second.
10 feet per second, but we're not accelerating 10 feet per second.
Right. Because if we were getting close to the bottom of the rope, I would have tied my rope off on it. Like.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
make like
shit.
a chain.
Yeah. But I don't think that's possible with that speed.
So, DM,
Yes.
because I'm very paranoid, I'm gonna blow my Blessing of the Raven Queen to teleport back up, grab Cyber, and then jump back down.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll allow it.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, so he just so you see Caelum then come back down, just cradling your guys' puppy.
You're bringing her?
You're mad she's not
You just
coming, you're mad
said-
she's coming. Make up your mind.
I'm saying that we should have planned this better. That's all I'm saying. Because now we're going down to fight something that's bigger and badder than everything else.
No, we do this live, damn it.
I imagine,
I don't
like,
know what you mean.
I imagine, like, Blake, like, floats down. He's upside down. He says, "We're doing this live." And then he floats back right side.
Yeah, and at this point, you guys all land at the bottom of this long crevice. And as you do, I'd like for you guys to make perception checks as your eyes kind of readjust to this dim lighting. And you can see it looks almost like you're in a hallway. But it's more like it narrowed towards where you guys were in a where it meets at like a triangular end, so it sort of just widens up and then seems to lead into an area that does have lighting coming from it.
11.
Okay.
30
13.
20.
Ooh.
Okay. 13, dirty 20. And Gwen, what did you get?
I got a 9.
Okay. So the 13 and the dirty 20, you guys hear what sounds like metal against stone occurring in a very rhythmic fashion, almost as if, almost similar to mining.
Huh.
That doesn't sound like an insect.
Doesn't sound natural.
What?
You don't hear it. It sounds like someone's taking a pickaxe to stone.
Yeah, and as they kind of point it out, it does become more apparent as you can hear it just echoing through these chambers.
Oh.
Okay, maybe they know about this was the cave fishes, or maybe they know where we can find an axe,
Okay.
Mm,
Hello?
or
Nope,
maybe
nope,
they're,
nope.
or maybe they're a problem that we need to solve.
Why don't we sneak first? Ask questions later, okay? Better to go in.
Things first.
Yes. That's, I mean, we've been through this, Cori. We've gone through this before. Assume the worst, hope for the best.
So we would like to sneak in that direction. Is that what? Oh,
Duh.
I love it.
Copper.
For the audiocast listeners, RJ is shoving us a plushie into his jacket.
To represent Cybra. It's a Mabari hound.
No. And we're going to sneak over there.
Best we can. I'm pretty sure I have disadvantage.
Oof.
All right. So yeah, you guys can make a stealth check if you would like.
Right.
Of course.
Well, it's not a natural one.
I've got Shane that jingle, jangle, jingle.
My first roll was a natural 20. My second roll was a 14 minus 1. 13.
Okay.
9.
I don't need to roll at disadvantage with the chain shirt, right?
Not with a
Not
chain
with-
shirt.
Okay, good, because I don't think I've ever tried to stealth as Gwen before. I mean, that's not great. It's a 7.
I also rolled a 7 because I rolled a 2.
Yeah, so you guys are... I mean, you started off by yelling, "Hello, is anyone there?" Maybe we should roll stealth checks. And that's basically like the course of action that has occurred, is that you guys are just kind of being like, "Why did you bring the dog down here? I don't know, I just thought it was a good idea."
Just echoing through the cave.
Yeah, it's just kind of echoing. And by the time that you guys finally like, okay, shh, let's see about being sneaky. You hear that that whatever sound was being echoed through the halls has stopped, and you can hear what sounds like in the distance rushing water.
Is that like a waterfall?
It sounds
Are there any
more
more
like a river, if anything.
Guys, I'm completely out of my element here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm whispering. I don't know how to whisper as Gwen. I don't think I can do the voice in a whisper. I'm sorry.
Stage whisper, got it.
Stage whisper. Is there any way that we could, like, I don't know, get in and out of here quickly?
Well, I mean, we got in pretty quick. Getting out is like 120-foot scale of the wall.
To be fair, getting out is kind of up in the air altogether.
I don't like this.
Thank you, Blake. I also don't like this.
But we don't see what was making the mining noise.
No.
So.
As you guys are still at the end of this almost natural hallway that seems to be leading back, and there's no way for you guys to go behind you, but there are some lights that are placed not too far in front of you, probably about 60 feet.
Gosh, it'd be really nice if we had something that could, like, you know, sneak ahead and see what was going on before we got there. I look at Caelum.
Cybra?
No.
Whenever Cybra has a stat block, then we'll start doing that. I'll start going on ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so you begin making your way ahead, and as you do, you come out of this kind of natural hallway and peek out, and it looks like the floor extends outward for about 40 feet and then begins to sink down kind of in this natural bowl that has a ledge around the top of it. And from this top ledge, you can see that there is a what looks to be a cave mouth also in this subterranean area. That looks like it was it was very crudely made. It doesn't look like any kind of mining operation would be responsible for a hole in the wall shaped such as that. Make a perception check as you kind of are peeking around.
8.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't really see much over there, but then looking around, You can see that at the base of this natural bowl that seems to occur, you can see that there is a much finer looking entryway into a mining area. And as you guys get close, or as you're kind of looking around, you can actually see that there are 3 dwarves that are all setting mining picks off along the side of a wall.
And I'll gesture everybody to come.
Like dwarfs?
Yeah, they look like dwarfs.
No, guys, I think
Mountain
we're all cool.
dwarves, to be specific.
About to say, are they like mountain dwarves or are they like the gray
Shield
dwarves we're
dwarves.
talking about?
Yeah, these are mountain dwarves.
Oh no, dude, I think we're fine. I think that this is, like just a mining place and we got lost. So let's just tell them that we got lost. And see if they've seen my fucking axe.
Echo.
Whisper, stage whisper. It's hard to do the voice quiet.
I know, but I feel like it's so in character for Gwen.
My fucking axe.
And I'll just go up to him.
Okay. Sounds
Back him up.
good. So yeah, you go up to these dwarves, and as you do, they just kind of look at the lot of you and just, "Oh, greetings, traveler.
What's up?
Hey.
How did you get into the mine?"
Fucking magic bullshit.
There's a crevice over that way.
We jumped down a hole.
That's open up to the surface.
Oh,
We're looking for something here that my friend dropped.
well, what is it that you dropped down the hole?
It's a big ol' axe.
Big ol' axe, like Moradin's axe.
No, who?
Moradin, god of the dwarves.
Oh yeah. Well, no, but yeah. I mean, like it's like for a Goliath-sized type individual.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen one? It would have been in this area.
Can't say that I have. Haven't seen much of anything other
What?
than gems or the silver vein.
What?
Yes.
Is that what you're mining?
Yes.
Pretty cool.
What about big insect monsters?
Haven't seen them. Don't know anything about them.
I would like to insight check this mofo.
Yeah, insight
Yeah,
check
sure.
this motherfucker.
Go for it. Insight check in.
I got a 5. Seems legit. Like a legit dude. He's pretty cute too.
Yeah, I got a 2.
God damn it.
So are all of us taking an insight, or is
That's
that,
kind of weird, isn't
is
it?
that what we
Like-
get?
Oh.
As a player, I'm suspicious. As a coriander, I'm like, tell me
Checks
more
out.
about this Moradin fellow.
I got a 23.
Woo!
Yeah, he is definitely not being honest about that part.
What's your name?
My name is Tobias. Tobias
Nice.
Bronzefire.
Bronzefire. I like that name. I like your beard too.
Oh, thank you. And he just kind of strokes it a little bit.
As Coriander realizes what's happening.
You doing anything later?
Gwen,
Working in the
we're
mine.
on the job.
Right. Sorry. Axe.
Do you want an axe or do you want a lay?
So we're here to find this axe. We intend to find that, and we also intend to find whatever the source of these insect monsters that keep going to the surfaces and eliminate it. Is that cool? Can we do that?
That's fine.
Are you like in charge here?
Yes,
Do you need
this
to
is
talk
my
to him?
mine.
Is there another person with him?
Yeah, there are 2 other dwarves that have just kind of been silent, just hanging out in the back.
I'm gonna look at them when he says it's his mind.
Yeah, just hello.
How much do I know about dwarves?
Make a history check.
9.
You know that they worship a god named Moradin, and they're often shorter than elves and humans, but taller than halflings. typically found in either hills, under the ground, or sometimes in the deep jungles. Dwarves have a very steady, nutrient-rich diet full of rocks. Probably.
That's a lie.
And
That's a
ale.
lie. And they
Boy,
pop out
howdy
of the
do they
ground.
like their ale. They've like beards too.
Yeah.
Beards and ale.
Yep. Even the women have beards.
Really?
And they're beautiful.
Luxurious.
Gwen's questioning her sexuality.
I'd go for it, probably.
She's
pull
probably
Blake
hit
aside.
on lady dwarves.
Go ahead, Caelum.
Oh, I'm pulling Blake aside and just going, something's not on the up and up.
Oh, okay.
Lying about the axe? Everything? Yes? DM?
Yeah, you just felt like he wasn't being honest when he was talking about not knowing what the giant bug creatures coming up out of the ground were.
Yeah, he's at least lying about the bugs.
So if these bugs that you don't know anything about do have a source, where would they be coming from?
What kind of bugs?
Cave fishes?
Oh, those bugs. Well, here. Around here.
Look, I'm not a cop, dude. I don't really care what sort of operation you're
Look.
doing here. I'm here to find
if
an
we
axe and
were,
kill
we'll have
bugs.
to tell you.
We,
That's a rule.
well, tell you what. We have a bar up on the second level of the mine. If you'd like, we can go and have a drink and talk about this.
You know what? We could have a drink right here. I'm gonna pull out. Oh wait, the barrel's on the thing, right?
Yeah, it's on the cart.
Fuck.
Yeah, we have a cart also on the surface.
You tell them that.
Can I insight check that?
That you have a cart on the surface, or that there's a bar?
They have a bar.
Oh, they have
Yeah.
a bar on
That they have a bar and they're not trying to like poison
Yeah,
us.
you
Yeah.
make an insight
Yeah.
check.
Oh sure, now you want to roll nice. 21.
Yeah. When you've kind of heard about this practice before, that while humans aren't necessarily the best at handling their liquor, dwarves tend to remember better when they have all been communally drinking. So in order to better navigate a mine, they have drinking stations set up throughout their mines.
That sounds great. Yeah. I think we can all use a drink.
But if it would be my axe, if it would be anywhere, it'd be here, right? Like, I mean, Grayskull, like, threw it into the ground, which split the ground, so it should be, like, right at the bottom, right?
Who is Grayskull?
That is my spirit guardian, my spirit guide. He's a Goliath that died a while ago and kind of hitched a ride with me.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
That sounds intimidating.
You want to see him?
Oh god.
Sure.
All right, punch me.
Maybe
I
we
would like
should
to
get a
rate.
drink first.
I mean, all right, if you want to do it like that, that's fine. Do you mind if we search the area first, just because we're here?
Sure.
All right, cool. Stay turned, and I'm gonna turn around and like, go back to the middle of the cave.
And
And
these
start looking.
and these three dwarves all begin just kind of marching off towards the bar where they said that they would meet you guys at.
Cool.
Are these dwarves acting weird?
Are you asking me or your friends?
No, Coriander doesn't suspect a thing.
Okay.
I've known enough dwarves. These dwarves acting weird.
Known.
Make a insight check as
about the right
as you all see them moving as a unit.
Marching in perfect harmony.
That was a 3.
Okay. 3.
Perfect union.
Huh?
If anybody
They
else
seem
would like to
fine.
roll an insight check on your
Robotic
dwarf.
bodies.
Oh, I'm asking Blake for his chalk.
Hand him some chalk.
I'm drawing a ritual circle in the ground.
Wings is sus, but Coriander thinks that they were terribly nice people.
I had rolled a 21. Do I need to roll again?
For your insight.
Yeah.
So as they begin moving, they seem to be moving a little bit slower than a lot of the dwarves that you've seen. It could be that they've spent a lot of the time in the mine together, but they don't really seem to be like one of them rushing forward and then being like, hey, come on. Like they all seem to just kind of be having these quiet conversations in dwarvish amongst themselves as they continue making their way out of the layer of the mine that you guys are currently on.
Cool.
Is there
That's
anyone?
Not sus at all.
Is there anybody in your party who can speak dwarvish?
Caelum.
Yeah, fucking of course it's
Okay.
Caelum.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you hear them saying amongst themselves, "What kind of alcohol do you think that they'll enjoy? I've heard elves like wine. We don't have any deep berry wine. Maybe we have something else." And they all just sort of seem to be talking amongst themselves, trying to determine what liquor to get you guys.
Tell me what you can about the Reapers.
This is my favorite
They
store
seem
on the
like
Citadel.
solid-
I was about to say. At the end of 10 minutes, I complete my ritual and I cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Yeah, so...
All right. It's a magic item.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so scanning around the general area, you don't end up finding any magical trace or anything like that. You don't see anything like glowing coming back at you. And you look around the area where these dwarves had been mining, and then you go around to the area that you were in previously. You don't find it either. And then you go and look in the uppermost cave area that you guys had seen initially coming out into this opened area. And what you see is that there is a large opening that leads into a back chamber that has a lot of webs kind of matted throughout it. And inlaid deep into the wall, you can just see this very rich silver vein. And kind of looking around as you do, you can see that while on the left-hand side wall was a silver vein, on the right-hand side wall there are just gems that have kind of been just shoved into the wall. But looks like that's where they were naturally grown. Not like somebody was like hammering a gem inside of a wall or anything like that. It's just, you can see that there are about 3 or 4 gems.
That's lucky.
Did you find it?
No, I don't really sense any magic here.
Oh. Well, shit. Grayskull. By the power of Grayskull.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so we can't really find it. It's not right here. Is there do you sense it somewhere?
I mean, that's not really how it works. I put it in a place where I thought you could find it, and apparently I made a mistake. I realize that now, that was entirely on me. Again, was not the best at minding my own strength.
Yeah,
But-
no, I mean, I get it. Again, not upset, little disappointed, but that's okay.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's not every time it's like that, you know. A lot more control. Otherwise,
So, I'm sorry, did you, like, throw this thing down from a different plane of existence?
well, I wasn't exactly on the material plane to start
Alright,
with.
cool. That's pretty boss. But you threw it and it, like, obviously cut through the earth a little bit.
Well, I mean,
and,
it's probably has something to do with the first time when we hit the ground with my axe, and then it caused a sink in for a fight pit. It may have been something to do with that. It's usually when I get a little carried away. And then I hacked the ground a couple times with the axe to
Right.
really make a point.
Right.
You weren't fighting alone. And then this happened.
All right, cool. Well, do you think we should? I mean, do you have like, you are my spirit guide here. So, do you have any?
Oh fuck no! I've been
Guiding
drinking
work?
most of the day. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
all right,
lie.
Cool. No, that's cool.
My
All
guidance
right.
is not the best.
All right, cool. Peace, bruh. Catch you on the flip.
Deuces.
Peace. Gwen just turns around. Yeah, I have no idea where this thing is, but I think we should check out that indent, because that might have been where I fought. Maybe. And I'm gonna trench back out to where that hole in the ground, the bowl was.
Yeah. So yeah, you go looking around the bowl, and Caelum's detect magic still isn't reading anything. You guys have kind of scanned this general area, and you aren't finding much of anything. It doesn't look like there would be many places to actually hide or stow something away.
Maybe we should talk to the dwarves for a little bit. Maybe we can find it whenever we're looking for the source of these cave fishes.
All right, sounds good. Gwen kind of just looks a little sad and hunched over a little bit as she walks forward.
Hey, Gwen, cheer up. It'll be all the more rad when you get your axe.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, I didn't know I was gonna have to go on a fucking quest for this. I thought it was just gonna be like in the ground.
Listen, weapons of power tend to have some sort of quest attached to them. At least from the fantasy books I've read.
Like what fantasy books do you read, Caelum?
Oh, there's this one about a pauper kid who pulls a sword from a stone and becomes king of a continent.
Oh, that kind of fantasy. All right, no, that's cool.
Sounds
All right.
very unrealistic.
Some watery tart.
Some watery
To set up a system of government.
I'm being oppressed. The violence inherent in the system.
Yeah. Oh god, no, we can't do this.
Sorry.
Focus.
So yeah, you
Going
guys.
towards where the dwarves were.
Okay.
We're going to the bar.
So yeah, you guys follow the direction that the dwarves took. And it's this very narrow, winding path that looks like it was carved out maybe to fit 2x2 people or a very wide cart, but it doesn't look like it has the same craftsmanship as the cave entrance that you guys had gone into to really when you had met with these three dwarves, including Tobias. And then as you guys continue outward, you kind of go into this large chamber that, again, doesn't look like it has very sturdy craftsmanship on it. And as you exit out into a hallway, you can see that then it looks like there was a hole that was made in this wall. As you kind of look around, and you can see that there is that the rest of this dwarven mine looks very nice and very flourished. Like there was a lot of time and a lot of effort spent creating a very sturdy dwarven mine. And then I would like for you guys to make perception checks as you exit out of this tunnel.
Is it weird to anyone else that like this is a dwarf tunnel and it looks like shit?
So 5?
Yeah. 14.
14?
Investigation?
No, this is
What am I-
perception.
Sorry.
That's okay.
11.
All right, so 11, and we had a 14?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Caelum, with your 14, you see out of the corner of your eye, kind of flickering off a torchlight, that there looks to be a medium-sized humanoid laying face down on the floor, off in a room that is directly to your guys' left. And it looks like there is a wall that had been, that looks like it's in the process of being mined, but you just see this fellow who's just kind of laying face down.
Hey, are you... And Caelum, like, walks off that way.
Yeah, and you guys just see Caelum moving over to what you now see is just this body kind of laying on the ground.
I'm gonna hustle over. Hey, dude, don't go off by yourself. These caves can be pretty scary.
I lean down and I touch the dude on the shoulder.
Yeah, he feels cold. And they're lying face down, arms kind of sprawled forward. You can see that there is an axe, a pickaxe that's kind of just outside of our hand's reach, like maybe he dropped it when he hit the ground.
I'm gonna smell him.
I'm gonna take 2 fingers and put it to his neck.
Okay. Yeah, he does not have a pulse. And when you smell him, Gwen, you smell...
Is there alcohol? I'm smelling for alcohol.
No, there is. You smell a little bit of alcohol. A little bit of residual alcohol, but not so much like he's been freshly drinking.
Is he dead?
Yeah. He's pretty dead.
That's weird. Should we tell those guys?
I think we should tell those guys. They don't...
I'm gonna take out my wineskin and put it next to him.
Okay. All right, so make a perception check as you go and set your wineskin next to him.
I had to wonder when you were gonna do that.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So as you kind of nestle it into this dwarf's pit to really get a good spot where you know it's just nothing's gonna fuck with it, nothing's gonna move or touch this, you actually see that there is from the light a glinting in this dwarf's beard that is a very kind of metallic-y red color, and you kind of realize, and you tilt him up a little bit, that this is Tobias Bronzefire, but he is just laying dead, passed out cold.
Wait, the guy that we were just talking
Yeah.
to? Fuck.
Man. So where do you think those guys went?
2nd level to the bar.
Yeah. So, like, should we bring the body or...
No.
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 Well, I mean, like, we can't just leave it here. That's not very respectful.
I don't have an hour to perform a burial rite right now.
Yeah, so let's just bring the body up there and they can do it.
No. I suspect foul play.
Why?
Did
He's
you
really
not-
cold. He's probably been dead for a while.
No, do you not recognize the face of the man you were flirting with a few minutes ago?
If this person's been dead for a while, there's another person out there wearing his face.
Is that a thing?
Yes. Yes, it is.
God damn it. All right, no one goes out of eyesight, okay? We have rules. We're going to have a code word right now. Everyone give me your code word. I'm going to write it down, and then if somebody gets abducted, we'll know that it's you.
Shouldn't write it down, because if somebody does get abducted, then what if they find it on them?
Shit. All right, that was my idea. Who has a better idea?
Might have been too smart.
I say we all come up with same code word, all right? Same code word. If we all get in trouble, the word is sploosh.
Bloosh.
Sploosh.
All right.
Like the sound a rock makes when it hits the water.
Okay.
Great.
So if anyone gets abducted and you come back and ask them the code word, not fucking around with this, okay, guys?
Okay. The code
Alright.
word is ploosh.
Sploosh, Cori. Sploosh.
Stop yelling it.
I can't whisper.
And under Gwen Flaws. Can't whisper.
No inside voice.
Everybody, the code word is...
This is why on Tuesday's show my voice is so quiet, because I yell so much on Monday that he has to turn me down.
So are we going back up to the bar?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna keep a visual eye out because fuck zombies.
Yeah. All right. So
Yep.
But if there are zombies, I don't think they're going to be able to get the drop on me. So
Why? Because you're so tall.
Also, don't you need the actual body of the person to be a zombie? If he's here and also walking around,
What if he was walking around and then he collapsed for reasons?
this guy's been dead for a while.
Yeah. Well, zombies can look like they're alive and be dead.
That's...
That's what I read.
If they haven't decomposed yet, then yeah.
Thank you, Blake.
Mess.
All right.
So we're going back to the bar.
Yeah. You guys are making your way, and eventually you do end up seeing where there is there's kind of a split from the chambers that you guys are in versus where you can see an entryway is across a medium-sized bridge. And looking over the side, you can see that there is a river of water that is flowing underneath it in a underground river. And then walking into the next chamber, you can see just kind of piles of rock and piles of ore that haven't necessarily been gotten to yet. And then you come to a much larger room. You can see that there is a long table set up with boxes full of mining gear on either side, as well as another box set up for daily deposits. There's a large keg labeled ale and a smaller keg labeled water. And then you see a entryway on your right that says F2 on the top, where you're assuming that this would be the direction to the second floor. So then you make your way to the end of that hallway and turn right, or you turn left, and then down this left hallway you can see that there is a smaller hallway that leads to the right, and it has a little sign that says boardroom labeled out on it. And then as you continue forward, you can see where it says bar listed.
Okay. Just as a side note, have I ever been to this town before?
You have not ever been to Marrisville before.
Have I heard anything about it? Like, about this mining
Make a history check.
place at all? History is great.
Soup's good.
I rolled a 9, so that's an 8.
Okay, yeah. So with your 8, you know that a lot of the dwarves from the north will typically send out mining expeditions to southern cities, southern areas, and then will arrange to have it either be shipped back home, overseas, or by land. So you're just assuming that this might be an extension of somebody else's mine, or just a dwarf decided to strike up in a good place.
All right, cool.
All right. So yeah, you guys go and looking into the bar, you can see the same 3 dwarves that you had been talking to earlier, all sitting at a table with various drinks set out for you guys. There is 3 mugs, or there are 2 mugs of ale, and then there are 2 mugs of a reddish liquid that have been set out for the lot of you. And you can see these 3 dwarves are all just sitting there, and that you couldn't really hear them talking very loudly as you guys approached, but they all seem to just sort of be talking amongst themselves when you enter, until finally the head one, Tobias, says, "Oh, it's so glad you could join. Please take a seat. We've already got drinks ready for you if you'd like any."
Sorry. I don't want to interrupt you, but I also want to pop off a divine sense before anything happens.
Okay. Sounds good. And what does your divine sense pick up on?
Shoot. Well, you know,
Celestial
supposed
Fiend and
to know.
Undead?
exactly what it does.
Celestial Fiend, Undead, and I believe Paladin of the Ancients also gets Fey.
Cool. Detect good and evil gives me anything affected by the Hallow spell, know the location of Celestial Fiend, Undead, and Fey within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Okay, yeah. This group of dwarves is not giving off any of those things.
Okay. Coriander's eyes narrow suspiciously.
Where is everyone?
It's the weekend.
Is it the weekend?
It is for the mine. We're just skeleton crew right now.
Skeleton crew, indeed. And I'm
It's-
gonna slide into the spot in front of him.
He just kind of looks at you. Is there something wrong with my wording?
No, it's just a curious way to say it. Skeleton crew.
Not a skeleton crew, Coriander says, sitting down next to Gwen.
There's 3 of us.
It's actually the proper verbiage for the end of the week. Sorry.
So, I wanted to let you know we totally forgot. We saw one of your fallen companions downstairs.
And you see the 2 other dwarves kind of look at each other, and Tobias just looks at you just... Was he drunk?
No, like we have a healer amongst us, and he has informed us that he is passed on. I'm sorry to be the one to bear this news to you.
I'm dead, I'm afraid.
Oh. Well, that's awfully terrible. Do you know who it was?
Had a lot of resemblance to you. Do you have any like brothers or cousins who was down here with you?
And as you say that, he just kind of looks at you, looks at the other 2, and the other 2 look at him. And then the 2 of them just kind of go back to putting to drinking from their mugs, and the Tobias says, No brothers. It's probably somebody trying to impersonate me. Get the best out of this mine.
Yeah.
Do you know which room the body was in?
Yeah. We could take you there, possibly, or point you out in that direction.
Are they actually touching mugs?
Yeah, they're
And, like,
holding
drinking
on to their
stuff?
mugs.
Okay.
Make a perception check.
Slipped a little bit there.
And did you say that they had set out drinks for us
Yeah,
as well?
they had set out drinks for you guys as well.
Oh yeah, definitely sitting in front of those drinks and not drinking them.
Drank.
I rolled a +2 is 8.
Okay, yeah, it looks like these dwarves are enjoying revelry just as any other dwarf.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this whole situation is a little weird. Like, I'm not used to coming down in a mine and it being so quiet and stuff. And, like, I know that you guys, but this is a pretty big mine, right? Like, how many people do you normally have here?
60, 70 people.
Where, do they all live in the town?
They live in the boats, yeah?
They live in the boats?
Yes. Marrisville is a city of boats.
Oh, I thought that was just the artist's choice when they drew the map. I didn't realize it was an actual city of boats.
No, it's made entirely of boats.
I don't like that.
There's a central ship. It's run by our first captain.
Oh, like the first captain or your first captain?
He's the title of the
Right.
person within the town.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna turn to my friends. I don't know what to do.
I'm going to pretend to take a drink, and just kind of sniff the drink.
Okay.
Let's see if there's
Yeah, make a perception check.
if there's anything going on there.
And you see that the dwarves are also going to take drinks of their ale. You guys can make perception checks if you would like.
Ooh, that's pretty good. How's about 21?
Okay, 21. It smells like wine. It smells old. It does not smell good. But it smells like wine.
All right.
I'll take a sip of mine.
20, not natural.
Okay.
Am I immune to poison yet?
What are we rolling?
This is a perception check.
2.
Okay. Yeah, so Blake, you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. Gwen, fuck it, might as well take a couple sips, and Cori's kind of sniffing hers. And Caelum, you notice that the dwarves that are putting their mugs up to their mouths, their throats aren't moving in the way that would denote that they are actually ingesting anything. It looks almost like they are putting their mugs up to their mouths and then setting it back down.
like a robot.
How's the beer?
The beer's delicious.
Oh,
Fine dwarven ale.
Yeah. Gwen's
Just gonna. Who's next to me? Cori, Blake.
Cori and Gwen had decided to sit next to each other, and then you guys could have either sat, so it's 4 of you in a row, or 2 on either side of the table.
Do I make this gamble? I'm gonna make this gamble. In Draconic, I side mouth to Blake. They're not drinking.
Can I insight to see if they understood him?
Yeah.
Not good. 8.
Yeah, they just seem to be continuing to drink.
Coriander's trying to play a smart man's game. Just sitting there doing the exact same thing. A full wine glass lifting to her lips and then putting it
You're
down.
just getting the red stain on the lips,
Yeah.
but not the teeth.
There's a red stain on her lips, and the glass never gets any less full, and she doesn't even pretend to swallow. She's just
This shit is good. What vintage is this?
Vintage?
Yeah, where's it from?
We get it from the town.
And who makes it?
His name is Otis. Otis Brackmeyer.
Otis Breck.
Fucking stupid.
I mean, he's pretty good. Is he a dwarf?
No,
Really?
no, he's a half-orc.
Nice.
Does anything look like it was set aside particularly for Blake?
Yeah, there is a mug of beer sitting in front of you.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I will take a sip, but I will not swallow.
Okay. Swish it around a little bit. That's a good flavor profile. Seems like a nice, it's like a stout. It's very, or it's not really a stout. It's more of just like a heartier ale. As you kind of get, there's a little bit of cinnamon in there, to kind of just maintain a little bit of a fiery flavor.
I'm not detecting anything.
Not outside of just it being a regular booze.
All right, I'll swallow.
Okay. God damn.
All right.
Yep.
this is a red herring. The drinks are fine.
Yeah.
So, why would someone coming down here to impersonate you?
Well, I own this mine. Somebody was
Right.
coming down to impersonate me. It could be that they're after my silver. They're after my gems.
Yeah, there was a mine, a line of silver and shit going into where those webs were.
That's where those big bugs were.
Yeah,
They're not there anymore.
I mean they're not there right now.
May have
If
to
you
go.
want, we could kill them all for you, and you could pay us.
That seems fine.
Cool. Got his job, guys.
How will we know you've killed them all?
We'll bring back some proof.
They have a queen. We'll bring back her head.
Sounds reasonable. You bring me back a head. I'll make sure to send you off with all the silver you can carry.
Shit, guys. We are in business.
I don't know, is there anything else that we need to know about what was going on here? Like, how long ago did they start appearing?
They started appearing about 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
That is okay.
Is that when the fissure opened up? Is there something
Yeah.
that happened you guys seem like there's something that happened 2 weeks ago that I feel like I should remember.
The cave fishers have always been here in the
Right.
mine. But 2 weeks back, there was an earthquake. Then they all just started climbing out.
There was an earthquake?
It's not a very big one.
That might have been the fissure opening up. And, yeah,
Yeah.
my bad.
That's how you all got in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might want to, look into closing that up, because peeps might be popping down in your minds, you know?
And we won't want that.
Right.
Who could fall in?
Yeah, well, that too, I guess, you know.
Well, can I offer you more drinks?
Got a job.
I mean, do you have a lost and found?
In the boardroom, I believe.
Could you check to see if the axe is there, just to cover all the bases?
Lost and
He-
found for your quest axe.
I don't know, man.
It's there.
And he looks. Tobias looks at one of the other dwarves, and he just kind of waves him off, and then that one stands up, and then steadily begins walking away from the rest of the group. And as he does, I would like for you guys to make perception checks as he begins making his way towards the edge of the door.
18.
15.
Fucking don't see
30-20.
anything.
Okay. So
Sorry.
Gwen is just very much maybe it's in the lost and found. Maybe that's where it could be. But
That's pretty cute.
But you got the rest of you actually see that there is a very thin thread of silver that is coming from the other two dwarves that are still sitting on the
Indoor, what the fuck?
that are still sitting on this bar stool as this one begins to walk off, still connected to the other two by this very thin silver thread.
What does Blake know?
Like a string.
Make a history check.
Like a puppet string.
Almost, yes.
If I were any more impulsive,
19.
Okay, so 19. You know that in the Underdark there are very, very, very terrifying creations that were used to by an ancient conquering race to kind of drop into a location to begin gathering memories from the surrounding area, and they typically will have abilities such as this, where it seems like a group of individuals will all be connected by this silvery thread. And after you kind of put two and two together, you see that on the ground under the bench, there is also a silvery thread that seems to be connecting the two dwarves that are sitting across the table from you, as they both just lean and bring their drinks to their mouth.
Blake lights his crossbow and fires.
So, you must have a lot of money if you own
Okay,
this place, right?
make an attack roll.
Natural 20.
You're just using the nat?
No. Yes.
Toon kid.
Well, I guess I had to relight my crossbow for this, but it's fine.
What the fuck?
Oh, double dice, duh.
LB has not encountered this before. I don't know what this is.
So that is gonna be on this attack. 8 plus 9 is 17, 20. 20 points to piercing damage and 5 points of fire damage.
Okay, sounds good. So,
Uh,
as you just bring your crossbow up, level it, and fire it across the table, the rest of you see this dwarf, Tobias, who is mid-drink with his mug, just shoot backwards and is actually pinned up against the wall. And you see his mug kind of clatter to the ground, and the dwarf sitting next to him just steadily puts his mug back onto the table. As you see Tobias kind of look up, look at the rest of you, and then his facial features begin to just steadily melt away, and you can actually see a dwarven skull underneath as this white ooze begins to drip down from it. His entire body just seems to liquefy and go onto the ground as the dwarf walking down the hallway stops and turns around to look at the four of you in this chamber. As you see a medium-sized glob of just this large, light, white, gelatinous liquid just kind of rears back, and it looks down at all of you, and that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session.
What is this thing?
We will find out when we return in 2 weeks.
What the fuck?
This is a fucking Oblex.
Thanks, Child's Miracle Network.
Oblexda, life goes on. Blah.
Yes, so when we come back in 2 weeks, we will be picking up right where we left off in this gross, slimy battle. I will show LB a picture of what it looks like.
So a little bit of reference. This is the creature that was made by Make-A-Wish Foundation children.
What?
Oh my gosh.
What? What? Why?
Why would you wish for this? Bad child! But yes, so when we return in 2 weeks, you guys will be fighting this big goopy son bitch, which I am very excited for.
My nightmares.
What the fuck?
I love to imagine this. Like Gwen's just like, what do you do for a living?
It's just like the T-1000. Just like,
Yep. Yeah. Oh my god.
some
yeah.
bitch.
So, I would like to say, first and foremost, thank you to everybody who stuck with us through our return from a hiatus, only so that way we can go on hiatus once again and tease you in a titillating fashion with indoor adventures. So, like we said earlier, there won't be a game next week because Christmas / Christmas Eve. Then there's not going to be a game on New Year's either, but later this week we are going to be having a Christmas crossover episode, which should be pretty cool.
Are we filming it and then putting it out maybe?
Maybe.
On Monday?
We'll figure it out. We could. We will figure it out at that time. But
Keep your eyes peeled on the Twitters.
on the Twitter sphere and the Discord and everywhere that you can generally find us. Which, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I am RJustice282 or RJ here on the show. You can find me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I have started kind of streaming. And on Twitter, I tweet about sometimes nerdy things and how 2 weeks is way too long of a hiatus after a 2 week. It leaves me too weak.
It's true. LB, where can we find you? What do you do?
You can find me researching what the fucking Oblex is.
It is the part of the song about Desmond having a burrow in the marketplace.
What the fuck?
And reading the story behind why this child thought that this was this could be an adult. I don't know. I'm gonna learn that and so much more. And you can find me tomorrow night on this same channel. And maybe we're heisting tomorrow. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. You guys got a carnival to go to, though.
We do, and a bag of holding to steal.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, Cyberwolf. Where can we find you? What do you do?
You can find me at Cyberwolf1201 on the Twitterverse, where I shitpost some very corny puns and other D&D and just life-related content. But you also can hear me talk about what I'm doing on twitch.tv/Cyberwolf1201, which is usually just playing games. Unfortunately, we are done with streaming on my channel for the rest of the year. Ended up with some nice donations to some charities, but we will return with that soon to delve into some more very bad gameplay, but some very good lore. You can also find the YouTube channel that I have where I post all those gameplay archives as well as some other videos on demand, like a Delta Rune playthrough, and the podcast that Kyle with an N and I do. Let's talk about it. We just posted another episode yesterday, where we talk about Smash Bros. And Gods and Cornhub. So
Yeah.
you should check that out. Besides that, for RPG content, you can usually find me on Saturdays on Pro Restarter's channel. I don't think I'll be able to make the next session because my friends and family live in 1861, and I do not have a stable internet connection, so I think I'll be missing a couple of sessions there. But we will soon get back to that, where I play Isabel the Half-Elf Warlock. And on Sundays, I'm not in this game, but you can follow Open for Adventure, because they do a lot of good 5th edition content, and I help with that behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Your parents live in Indiana?
I said 1861,
Yeah,
like the year.
Yeah, Indiana.
Indiana.
Louisiana.
Same place. I'm from the West Coast. All of your East Coast states are just mishmash to me. And Danae, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, my name is Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. It goes to my Tumblr. You can also find my art at Twitter, which is just at Danae Keener. I do doodles for every game, and today's doodle is Gwen pinning Cori. So if you want to see that, DanaeKeener.com or the Twitter.
Yeah. And I am the Indoor Adventurer. Once again, thank you to all my wonderful players for putting up with my bullshit every week where I get to throw gooey monsters at them. And thank you to all you wonderful people who help make what I do with my spare time feel worth it. So thank you all for coming by. I'm excited for where we are going to be picking up from this game in 2 weeks. So don't go no place, and we will see you guys shortly-ish. Happy holidays and bah humbug, I suppose. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.